This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. Hey, I don't know what's going on here. What's going on? My camera's like messed up. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. Yeah. What's going on? Probably not the greatest time to do a show, but if you want to watch my show, you want to watch my show. If you don't want to watch my show, I'm sure there's other huge channels out there covering the same story again. Yeah. So, how's everybody doing? I got a few different little updates here. On something else, by the way, the other case. And for those of you out there, put out some extra prayers for Scott, Chasing Truth's husband. He has a little bit worse today with the inflammation. Does have decent oxygen level. He has to lay on his stomach, apparently. Man, I don't even know if I could do that. Unless it was some mechanism that allowed me to... I mean, I try to lay on my stomach and it hurts my neck and everything. Yeah. He just needs to do what the doctors tell him to do. For sure. She was saying that earlier today... Before she got there to tell him the hard truth of everything, he like took his oxygen mask off or whatever, the thing out, because he wanted to not have it on for a few minutes. And the doctor is like, "Are you nuts?" You know? I mean, man, you can't do that stuff. Yep. See you later, Zozo. Oh, and by the way, Lynette Burns didn't do anything wrong. I just, sometimes I'm an ass and I just respond to a comment. I always like it when she's here and everything. We don't agree on some shit, but I'll admit that I was rude to her comment. Okay, so she was right, I was wrong. Unfortunately, what made me wrong mostly was the stupid Daily Mail who put the same date as the update, like it was today's article. Yeah. So anyways, I apologize, Lynette Burns. I did it in email. She said, "Oh, that's cool," and everything, but I want to do it on the show just to let you know that she didn't say anything that was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Wow. Thanks, Stacy. Holy crap. She said, I don't know if I got it in time, but it said, "Gray, you're the best. You were the first to create the crime scene flow for Delphi, and officials even praised you for it. I'm so proud of you. Love you, my friend, and I love all the wonderful freaks too. Thank you for being like a family. Love you all past the stars. Well, we all love you too, Stacy. Oh God, it came on. I thought I put it on too late. It got me. Oh shit.
Gray, you're the best. You were the first to create the crime scene flow for Delphi, and officials even praised you for it. I'm so proud of you. Love you, my friend. And I love all you wonderful freaks too. Thank you for being like a family. I love you all past the stars.
I turned on the Streamlabs sound effect thing after it was up there for 10 seconds, so I thought I missed it. So then it went boom right in my ear. Oh, thank you so much. Everybody feels the same way about you, Stacy. Probably the most positive human being on the planet Earth. Although lanky Tor baby brown bear cubs isn't too far behind, right? Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty loud. Okay, alright, so I'm going to go over and got an update on this one first. So this is the San Francisco Chronicle right here. Let's just read through this one really fast. When the missing persons report for Ellen Chung and her husband Jonathan Garish came in at 11 p.m. Monday, so that would have been Monday the 16th at 11 p.m., a curious sheriff's deputy had a hunch. The couple had just purchased a property near the trailhead for Heights Cove Trail 20 miles north of town, and they loved to explore the outdoors with their 1-year-old daughter. He drove down the single-lane red dirt Heights Cove Road until the closed U.S. Forest Service gate appeared. He was right. The couple's truck was parked at the popular but remote trailhead, and it was 2 a.m. when he got there. So this is a really good article. This is the links in here. This is San Francisco Chronicle. He called in backup, and 9 hours later, a search and rescue team made the grim discovery. The father, mother, baby, and dog were all dead about 1/2 mile below their truck on a series of switchbacks, and that's exactly what you see. So for those of you who are just here for Delphi, we've been covering the last couple of days this case out of California, where this husband, wife, their infant child, and dog were all found dead on this trail with no visible signs of any trauma of any kind. Okay? It's really bizarre. It's a little bit like the Dyatlov Pass mystery, but a shorter version of it. It's really bizarre, right? The father, mother, baby, and dog were all dead about 1.5 miles below their truck on a series of switchbacks. And so here's where the car was parked, right there. And then look at all these switchbacks right here. That's just a hiking trail at that point. It's not for driving. And they were found somewhere around in this area right here. But they had already done this loop, apparently. I mean, that's what they're assuming. It's also possible they just went down like this and back, right? They might have said, well, you know, we've got our kid with us. Let's just go down and then back up. So that's definitely possible. But they think that they may have gone like this whole huge route. But wouldn't it make more sense on a 106, 107 degree day to just go down and then back up? Especially when you have your infant child with you. This whole route here is, let me see what we have. We have 5.37, and then I think this one is 2.52. So, about 8 miles is the whole loop. And would you really do an 8-mile hike carrying a child in 106-degree temperature? I don't know. That just seems really strange. But anyways, the family had been found, but the investigation was just beginning, and the mystery was only deepening in the booming foothill community that has been an onslaught of new residents. Let's see. Autopsy reports for the family and dog remain outstanding Friday, with officials saying they don't expect any definitive answers until lab technicians in Stanislaus County and UC Davis work through toxicology reports. There are no other obvious signs of trauma or notes indicating troubles. Authorities are investigating deadly gas exposure from unknown mines, toxic bacteria plumes in the waterways. That was something there was a warning sign for. And basic dehydration. It was 107 to 109 degrees Sunday. That was Sunday, though, so let's see. Oh, so, yeah, Monday's when they were hiking, though. So that would have been Sunday's when they were hiking, Monday's when the report came in. So that must have been on the 15th. So it was 107 to 109 degrees Sunday afternoon when officials believe they hiked. Nothing yet has made sense, and any semblance of foul play seems far-fetched. It does, see? It does seem far-fetched. Unless it was a weird Sinai murder-suicide situation. This was a young, energetic family. Chung was 31 and Garish 45, who had left their San Francisco apartment to start a life working remotely and raising their daughter in the wilderness they loved. From everyone we talked to, see, this is what the feeling that I had. That's why I didn't think it was a suicide. They just bought that property, too. From everyone we talked to, they were extremely happy, outgoing, and loved finding Mariposa, and they were able to work from home. On Friday, under smoky skies, tourists on their way to Yosemite National Park passed along Highway 49, a 2-lane road cutting through the downtown. A woman hung a handmade "Let's Go Grizzly" poster. They're just talking about how simple and basic. Let's see. In 1999, well, right there they're mentioning a serial killer. So this is where they were found, right here. When the deputies found the truck, a search and rescue team hiked down the steep and straight road with flashlights and found shoe and paw prints similar to what you would expect from a family of that size with a dog. Oh, that's interesting. Wait. When the deputies found the truck, a search and rescue team hiked down the steep and straight road with flashlights. Wait, hold on, let me look. I wonder if they're talking about, they're either going this way or this way, and that might actually answer the question. They do have what they think is the route. Let me just figure this out. When the deputies found the truck, a search and rescue team hiked down the steep and straight road with flashlights and found shoe and paw prints similar to what you'd expect from a family of that size with a dog. At 3:20 a.m., the sheriff's office reserved a search helicopter for daybreak. They called in a second search team and began winding down the switchbacks that complete the loop. So they're saying that they went on this one first, then they went down this direction towards the switchbacks that complete the loop. So they say that they see the dog prints and that are consistent, but they can't be 100% certain. But it sounds like that's what they believe, because there was feet and dog prints walking this direction. Although you would imagine that other people might show up with dogs and whatnot. But then they went down this direction. And this is the interesting part here. About 1.5 miles down the switchbacks at around 11 a.m. and 1.5 miles actually ends up about right here. So it's just right in this area here. Tuesday, the team found the family in the middle of the trail. So they're right in the middle of the trail. The husband was in a seated position, which is weird, right? Like he's sitting up, but he's just bent over dead, right? The child was beside him along with the dog, and the wife just a little further up the hill, so she kept on trying to get out. Bree said they believe the family was returning to their truck. A cell phone, and you can probably tell by which angle. This is really a crazy story, LM. I mean, it's really a weird one. A cell phone was in Garish's pocket. There is little to no cell coverage on the section of the trail. It'd be interesting to see if they tried to dial something. Investigators are trying to determine if the phone saved any... Oh, there you go. Well, there you go. That's the next question. Failed text message, drafts, attempted calls, or photos. The family also had a backpack with a bladder that held a small amount of water. So this is stuff we wanted to know about. They sent the water for testing. There was no indication whether the family had been swimming, as they would have dried off by the time they were found, he said. Well, if they were still wet and they walked up and they fell on the ground, there should be mud or something like connected to their underside, I would think. But it was 106 and 107. I bet you within, half a mile you're dried up at that point. 2 deputies slept near the family that night to ensure that no one tampered with the scene. The family was airlifted off the trail the next morning. Bree said they are investigating all possibilities to start eliminating options. While temperatures were scorching Sunday afternoon, dehydration seemed like a long shot. With their pet dying and the camelback still containing water, on Friday investigators combed the lower section of the trail for unreported mines, but experts said it's likely would take an exposure inside a mine shaft to kill a family. Investigators also took samples of bacteria blooms along the South Fork, and that would have been, I would imagine, those samples would have been taken from here to here along this route to see if there's anything in there that would be deadly enough to actually kill somebody. There have been few, if any, reports of human deaths linked to freshwater bacteria blooms. See, that's what I'm saying. You see, it's not really that common, right? But it killed every single one of them. It killed 3 humans and a dog. Okay, the entire party that went hiking got killed. Wouldn't one of them just not had the same reaction? So this sounds like it's really... I mean, if this is a natural event, it is absolutely the most deadly. I mean, they need to shut that park down and keep people from going anywhere near it until they figure out what the hell happened. Hey, thanks, Eula S. Freshwater is a little more of the Wild West. Let me see. Professor specialized in such proliferation called them a threat to both. Okay, there have been a few, if any, reports of human deaths linked to freshwater bacteria blooms. University of South Carolina biological sciences professor David Caron, who specializes in such proliferations, called them a threat to both animals and humans. Freshwater is a little more of the Wild West. This is something that's come onto our radar in the last 5, 6, 7 years. Well, maybe it's become a bigger... The most common type of California is cyanobacteria, the one most connected to dog deaths in anatoxin A, also known as is anatoxin A, so that's a different one, and is a very fast death factor, a dangerous neurotoxin. The mass usually floats to the surface and creates blue-green scums in a river environment, especially in eddies. It can be fatal if the dog drinks the water. So wouldn't that be, maybe somehow they ingested something similar to that, the anatoxins right here. Dogs can go downhill pretty quickly. Could they kill humans rapidly? It's conceivable that it is the cause, Karen said. It's conceivable that it is the cause, Karen said. But a lot needs to be done forensically to tie it to toxins. The question is, if in the area there's high enough concentrations of it. These types of bacteria blooms occur when nutrients in the ecosystem, such as nitrogen and phosphorus, build up. That it's caused by humans, he said, as fertilizer and other chemicals seep into water systems. The bacteria likes water warm, stagnant, he said. You slow water down and warm it up. It gives bacteria a competitive advantage. And that's just... you gotta admit, like, that's some crazy shit. I mean, give me a break. And then Stacy sent me this kind of an interesting, sort of an older story here, you know, as a sort of a less likely option, but, you know, somebody else mentioned something similar in the chat last night. But gas cloud kills Cameroon villagers. Like it says, an eruption of lethal gas from Lake Nyos in Cameroon kills nearly 2,000 people and wipes out 4 villages. I mean, who even really thinks about shit like this even existing? I mean, we got so many other things to deal with. Lake Nyos and Lake Monon are both crater lakes about a mile square located in the remote mountain areas of northwest Cameroon. The deadly cloud of gas, it looks like it just sort of, it went through villages, killed people, and then it moved on to another village and killed more people and animals and everybody. So here's the thing, in this story that we're covering right now, this story right here, there's no indication that other creatures were dead. However, if a squirrel or raccoon or coyote or mountain lion or bear drank water, where do you think they would end up dying? They're not going to go sit on the middle of the path and go, oh, yeah, you know. They're just not going to do that. So we don't know if there's other animals that are dead out there. There could be hundreds and hundreds of animals out there that are dead. They're just not going to die right in the middle of the path to be found. They're going to wander out. They don't even know what a path is, right? The humans, they're like, oh yeah, we're trying to get up this path, and the dog's going to stay with them. So that's why everybody's right there. Okay, so what do you guys think about this thing? Man, it's just absolutely crazy. I mean, listen, if they died from some crazy algae bloom, they need to shut down that entire system there. Because you don't know what you got. I mean, you could be walking right into the water. Oh my God, and then you die from... I mean, they got to figure out what the hell happened ASAP before anybody else walks out there. Okay, so that was really all I wanted to bring up. It was interesting. I mean, what they basically described was that he was sitting down somewhere right around in this area. The dog was next to him, and he was next to him. Oh yeah, and there was also... They did mention that there was some... They had some water left. Now, if they test the water... You know, I'm wondering if there was any sort of heat played a role. I mean, 106 and 107 to 109, you shouldn't be out hiking. Especially when it's uphill 2,000 feet. Do you guys agree with that? I mean, that's just... look at right here is... Let me get you the number here. Right down here it is 1,812 feet. And then up here, at the high point, it's 3,000, I think 800 and something. Yeah, 3,960 right there. So you went up 2,000 feet in walking 4 miles straight up a cliff. I mean, look at this thing. So there could be a heat element to it. I think that would show, though. They'd be able to tell, like, quickly, maybe. A lot of stuff going on. What do you mean what are you talking about? Why are the officers unharmed? Because they think it might be something out of the water down at the bottom. They didn't drink it. All right, now I do have one more crazy. Remember in the Schnee Oberholzer case, you guys? I was talking to Dennis, and we were trying to figure out, wouldn't it be weird if there was one newspaper article that had the same stories of the weird airplane situation and the murder right next to each other? Well, Dennis went out and he found it. Oh, man. This is crazy. This is the craziest shit you've ever seen. Hold on. I don't mean to keep swearing, but I feel like swearing today. Look at this. Woman's body found near summit of Hoosier. A body of a missing woman has been found near the summit of Hoosier Pass in Park County Sheriff's Norman Howey said. The death of Barbara J. Oberholzer, 29, is being investigated as a possible homicide. Well, of course it is, with 2 bullets in her. The cause of death wasn't determined pending an autopsy. Then right over here. Airline gets SOS from truck driver. Stuck truck. Don't you think that's pretty weird? This guy right here. So listen to this, everybody. If you're haven't heard of this case before, there's a person named Alan Lee Phillips who killed Bobby Joe Oberholzer and Annette Schnee in Breckenridge, Colorado in 1982, I think. I think that's what my memory is saying. It may have been 81 or 82, but I just can't remember. And so what happened was they both went missing after hitchhiking, but they found Bobby Joe Oberholzer the next day at the Summit Pass down there. And they found her orange sock in the parking lot, but she was found as if she had run from the parking lot to get away, had one zip tie on one wrist, the other one off. A glove was off, and she was trying to get away from the guy, and then she got shot. And then they, believe it was a homicide. But then the other girl was just missing at this point. And then 6 months later, they find Annette Schnee way down south, maybe 20 miles down there. And she had the other orange sock on. So then they connected the two and were like, whoa, this must have been a serial killer type person because Annette Schnee did not know Bobby Joe Oberholzer. Okay, then right around that same time, next day in the paper, it says right here, hey, when Alan Phillips was unable to dig his small pickup truck out of a snowbank on a mountain pass 40 miles west of Denver one night this week, he decided he would try flashing an SOS signal with his headlights when he heard a plane passing overhead. Jefferson County Sheriff Harold E. Bray, a passenger on a United Airlines jetliner flight to San Francisco, just happened to be looking out his window and saw the signal that Phillips was flashing. Bray notified the pilot who radioed an air traffic control center. 4 hours later, Wednesday night, rescuers reached Phillips at the top of the 11,665-foot Guanella Pass, where the mercury had dipped to 20 degrees below zero. Phillips, 30, of Georgetown, said he didn't have any tire chains and was unable to free his truck from the snow. Poor guy. But isn't that weird? Because he is the killer of Bobby Joe Oberholzer and Annette Schnee, and he was actually on his way home after the killings when he had to flash down and do the SOS signal. Yeah, and then look at it. I think it is, now it's a little strange that somebody didn't go, wow, that's weird. These people were killed and this guy was driving around in that freaky snowstorm that night. But anyways, it was really cool. Dennis found this newspaper article where both stories are right next to each other. How wild is that? So good job, Dennis. Dennis Stewart, the legend. Also, almost a suspect in the case because while they were doing genealogy, his last name showed up in the family tree, but thankfully he was cleared later. And I'll just show you that really quick, what I was just talking about. Let me show you really fast. Yeah, right here. Yeah, so I'm just going to do this lightning fast and then get on to the Delphi. So here's where Breckenridge is right here. They were both abducted hitchhiking at two different times that night. And then Bobby Joe. This is where she got out of the vehicle, and that's where the orange sock was found. She ran this way and then was shot by the killer right in this area, and she was found there the following day. So January 6th, her and Annette Schnee went missing. Then months later, Annette Schnee was found, I think like in June or July. I mean, it was way later. She was found down a bank right over here in the water. Pretty well preserved, actually. And apparently back then there was a berm that blocked the road at that point. So when they found Annette Schnee, they found the orange sock. And then, interestingly, they find Bobby Joe Oberholzer's backpack, Kleenex in this area. Just watch how this works. It's really bizarre. So they found her blue backpack, glove, and Kleenex right here. The Kleenex and the glove had the killer's DNA, but originally, because it had the same blood type as Oberholzer, they thought that it was hers, but it turns out it was a male DNA and it was a killer. Thank you, Sylvia Ashbach. And so, look at this. That's where these items were found. He just tossed them out the window, perhaps. And then up here, they found the driver's license. Her husband actually is the one who found this because he started looking around, and he became a suspect because of that. And he was actually called, by the person who found the driver's license. So anyways, so look at how this works. You're down here. You do your second killing, which would have been Annette Schnee was first, Oberholzer was second. And then he's out here throwing Oberholzer's stuff out. Annette Schnee's backpack, I believe, was tossed out on the way back up to Breckenridge to get a second victim. Then down here, Oberholzer's driving like this. Now look at this, right here in Grant, this is Guanella Pass, right here. And this is where his car broke down, and he signaled the airliner coming from Denver. I mean, see, that right there would be effective in court. What I just did there, but a little bit more detail. See, right there, anybody on a jury seeing that right there would go, oh my God, oh, holy crap, that's ridiculous. I mean, look at her wallet, scattered wallet contents, driver's license, all on the route. And just after that, he goes over the Guanella Pass because he actually lived right over here on the other side of the pass. I think at the time, let's see. He lived in, I think that's other town over here. But at the time he was arrested, he lived right near this Downeyville area. There's pictures on Facebook right there. I can't remember. What was the name of that town that he was in? Oh, there it is, Georgetown. He lived right here. And look at that pass. So here's the thing, is the pass goes all the way over and then right into Georgetown where he lived. I mean, he would just be screwed. You know, he's toast no matter how you look at it, man. This guy is. And then Dennis also found a picture of him in the newspaper where his left eye has a black eye. Can you believe that? All right. There you go, everybody. Those are the updates. Recently, we were looking at this other case, this Beth Ann Miller. Me and Dennis had talked about it a long time ago. And I think I had actually covered it before. And then it turns out there was, I don't know, weird connection maybe to another case with this red pickup truck. Who the hell knows? But you know this for sure is Alan Lee Phillips is a serial killer. Those aren't going to be his only 2 kills. I would bet lots of money on that. No chance. Hey, thanks, Rita Schaefer. All right, you guys, now we're back on to Delphi. Okay, but I hope you didn't mind the updates there. For those of you who only watch Delphi shows, there actually are other interesting cases in the world, believe it or not. It's really strange how that happens, but Thank you. I just ate some pizza a few minutes ago. That was pretty good. It's even one of the ones you make yourself. Yeah. Man, there's just so many interesting things out there. It's unreal. Now, the one out of California, this thing, that's a real brain scratcher. It's probably likely going to be a toxin of some sort, but a very scary one. Oh, I'm sure. He's an idiot, okay? That's all I can tell you. That guy is just a... He doesn't help anything. He's just miserable that he didn't really ever achieve anything, so he just does this stupid trolling crap, you know. Unbelievable. I don't even know what case you're talking about, Matt. Sorry. Oh yeah, you had some pizza. All right. All right, so here we'll go back over the Delphi case again. For those of you out there that are newer to it and don't really have it memorized, we'll start right here. Okay, apparently on this date, on this very day that they had off, I think it was a... let me check something. Hold on a second. Yeah, so it was a Monday. Alright, so on this Monday, they had a day off of school because they didn't use up enough sick days. Which is kind of weird. It's like, well, shouldn't we keep them in school longer? I mean, it's another day of school, right? But anyways, there wasn't enough sick days used or something, so it was a makeup day, like, hey, you guys get a free day off and everything. So, Abby was staying over with Libby at their house. Let me get the right date here. And they were over at the grandmother's house, which is Becky and then Mike Patty, the grandfather. And they actually have sole custody of Libby and Kelsey. And Derrick, I think, lived there at the same time, too. And so anyways, they were right here hanging out, doing stuff for Becky's work and whatnot, and then Derrick was going to drive over to a town called Frankfurt. I always remember it's a German name. And then he would be back in about an hour and a half. The distance from the house to Frankfurt is 27 miles. So if you figure 30-minute drive, take some photos, and another 30-minute drive, you know, it's maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours. That's it. There was no set time. Okay, that's what he was going to be doing. But the girls decided they wanted to go to the bridge and take some photographs. So Becky said, sure, you guys can go there. They've been there a million times, everybody. It's not irresponsible that they let them go. We don't need your moral superiority because you're not morally superior. Let's just get that straight. So they drive. They decided they're going to go there, and the only way they can go is if they've secured a ride there and a ride back. Well, Derrick's going to pick them up in an hour and a half to 2 hours, and Kelsey is going to drive them there. So they left the house sometime around 1:30, maybe 1:25 or so. Then this green route is the route they took. Another option that they thought maybe they drove was this one, but Kelsey said that she went this route. And they drove right here on this green line, and then the purple and green merge here. And then drive down this direction, north 575, west, get on to, I think, 300 here, and drive right past the cemetery right there. And then they pull up right into this little parking place right here. There's a little place you could pull in and park. And then they got out of the car and walked this direction And that was about 1:37 is when they got out of the vehicle here. And then Kelsey drove off to, I think, maybe visit her boyfriend. She was going to work too, but she was driving like this, and she didn't see a vehicle there because she's not paying attention to that. Who is? Nobody. So they get out and they start walking. So it was 1:37, and then at 2:07 on the bridge, that's when the second photograph was taken. Right here. The first one was taken right there, but that photograph was aimed that direction. And so they continued to walk, and then on this third platform right there, I would actually move this to the end over here. But Libby got on the platform and turned around and took a photograph of Abby walking this direction, and that was taken at 2:07. So this is only a 6-minute walk, but it took a half hour to get from right here to right there. So they were probably lollygagging around, you know how term my mom used to use. Or she still does, but she doesn't need to say lollygagging anymore, but she's alive. So they were walking around, and, you know, who knows what they were doing? Taking photographs. Who else's birthday is it today? I know it was Kelly Gray. Man, too many people. Man. Boy. I don't even know who Matt is. Do I know Matt? Never seen him before. Okay, anyways. So it took like a half hour to get there. So they might have been taking pictures. Who knows? Maybe they even talked to the killer. The law enforcement thinks that they maybe even had confronted him in this area somewhere, or just anywhere along this trail here. So they walked across, 2:07 photograph there. So now the killer is back here, and he knows that the girls are all by themselves. There isn't a soul in the world at the park other than the two girls and him, and he's aware of where everybody else is at the time, sees them go across the bridge, and then follows them that way. I believe that if the girls had walked down this path, he would have followed them down this way because, again, he would have known that they were alone, and he knows the area. But in this instance, the girls happened to go across the bridge, and he followed them across, and then once he got close to them, he said, "Hey, guys," you know, like, "Hey, guys," like, just, "Guys." You know, that's exactly how I heard it. He just goes, "Guys." You know, somebody else is out there telling everybody that he's like, "Guys? Guys, I've already told you once." Does anybody hear that tone at all? I mean, it's ridiculous. "Guys." Okay, it doesn't say that. He just goes, "Guys." Just like that. That's the tone. "Hey, guys." Just like you're walking by somebody. And then he says, "Down the hill." So after he gets by him, probably pulls out the gun, and then he tells them to go down the hill at that point. But apparently, Abby had already said, "Is that a gun?" "That's a gun," at one point. So that's something that apparently that's out there. Then they said, "Well, here's a click," and that's where we think the gun was being cocked at that point. So then he has them go down the hill, and I thought many times that this area right here would have been the area that the... Hey, thank you, Sylvie Eschbach, Rita Schaefer, Sylvie Eschbach. Do you think that the case will ever be solved? The Delphi one? Yeah. I mean, when you're saying that this year, I don't know now. I was thinking it was going to be solved this year, but yes, I think it's going to be solved. But I don't know about, like, I was kind of confident something was going to happen this year, just because I just felt that way. But so I always thought that this area here might have been the place that he was originally trying to assault them, but then they ran across the creek, and then this is where he ended up killing them. Maybe he caught up to them, or he literally just forced them across the creek because he wanted to go out through the cemetery here. I don't think his car in any way was parked at the cemetery, nor do I think he was trying to abduct them, like somebody else is saying out there. I think that he just knew that this was here, so he goes up the hill, over the fence, through the cemetery, and who knows? He could have even walked from here all the way over to the car parked at the abandoned CPS building, We don't know, because nobody would even remember what the guy looked like, just barely. Okay, he kind of looked like this, maybe he looked like that. If he was walking on here, on a trail, there'd be a lot better description of him. Now, if he made it cut across, went back on the trail here, he might have walked like this, cut across. I mean, even here, he could have even went through the parking area again and then went like this. I don't know. But at that point, he does expose himself to walking slower and having people actually be able to see what he looks like. When you're out on the road here, you have cars driving by at 30, 40 miles an hour, and they're not going to really be able to see your face clearly. And he walks, gets into his vehicle, and is parked here at the abandoned CPS building. There were some people saying, was it an abandoned CPS building or an abandoned vehicle? No, it was all cleared up a long time ago. I even called the I literally called the I called Holman, but he's not going to answer. So I sent an email off to what's his name? What's the main the Carter, right? I sent an email to Carter, and then a few days later, Holman responded. So that means he delegated it down, and he said that no, the vehicle, the building was abandoned, not the vehicle. And I put that out on the show, and that should have cleared everything up at the time. But it just, things don't work like that on social media. People tend to believe whatever they feel like believing, like whatever fits their narrative and storyline. That's what they go with. Are my bots working tonight? Oh yeah, it looks like it. No, we don't watch those things. Yeah, sorry, I gotta remove that one. Yeah, so it looks like they're working. And so if any of you guys would like to help out the channel, we're also going to be doing another donation tonight. Hell, I might even do it right now. I was thinking of doing, I think RAIN. We need to go to violence against women. What do you think? That sound good? Glad I just remembered that. Yeah, it's all the freaks donations help support the channel and being able to do this. All right, so I might have to go get my card. I can't remember if RAIN's one of the ones that. All right, but see, here it is. This is they have all kinds of stuff they do, backlogging of rape kits, all kinds of stuff. All right, I gotta fill this stuff out. Thank you, beholder, drool face. Yeah, we can make this one in honor. Well, actually, they always want names and everything. Oh, I can do PayPal. All right. All right. Well, there we go, everybody. We just did. There it is. Thank you. Boom. I'll show you guys the receipt here in a minute. Oh, thank you, Paulette Leonard. Thank you. All right, so there is 500 to Rain. We'll show you guys the receipt here in a minute. And there it is right there. Okay. So there's the receipt from Rain, 500. And there you go. All right. If you want to go check it out yourself, you can go check and see if Gray really did it. All right. So now we flip over to the main screen here. And we got to update all these so we don't forget. So that is now 27.5 this year. Absolutely nutty. Gotta admit. Oh, and thank you, Plato, as well on PayPal there. Thank you. I gotta just change this up a little bit. Oh yeah, so there we go. Now we're at 3,000 on Rain. It's pretty sweet. And we'll have to do Innocence Project here coming up next month. Alright, definitely hit up on that one. Okay, there you go. So far this year, Texas Equus Search, 3,300. Thank you, Be Kind, Vale, Carolina T, Beholder.
Thank you, Gray.
Yeah, brutal, all over the place. Okay, yeah, let me go over this again. So Rain is $3,000. National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, $3,700. The Libby Abbey Ballpark, $1,500 so far this year. The DNA Fund, $14,500. Did we add to that when he? I think we need to make that 15, right? Yeah, because we never changed that when... yeah, we got to add to that. Right? Do you guys remember that? Because it was 14,500 for a long time, but Jeff S. just added to it. So I need to make that bigger. No, I'll leave it the way it is. Yeah, that's not mine. Well, no, I got to change that. Hold on. Sorry. I never added his 500 on there that he just added to it. Does that make sense mathematically? I think so. 300. Yeah, 37, 33, 7,000, 7,500, 1,500, 10,500 I mean. Then 12,000, 15, yeah, and then 15, so that's 27, is that where we're at? I think so. What is it? Oh, there it is. 15,000. Okay. Now, I think I'm 500 off somewhere. But anyways, 27,500 so far. In my Chiron going across. I don't know if that's... I think I'm missing something. Yeah, so Jeff S, he's done 2,500 matching. Instead of sending it to me, he just sent it directly in. Because then, you know, then it would be subject to the percentages and everything. But anyway, you got 27.5, 500 to Rain, or 500 to Charlie Project, 3,000 to Rain, 3,700 to Nick Mech, Libby Nabby Ballpark 1,500. Our DNA fund is 15,000. And then Texas Equisearch 3,300. Oh, that 500 at Innocence Project I left off, so that makes sense. Innocent Project 500. And yeah, so that was the 500 that would make it 27.5. All right, awesome. So that means 49,500 since January 2020. The freaks, all the way through the pandemic until right now, have been kicking some ass and helping out. Thank you. All right, you guys. Well, the phone lines are open if you want to call in about the Delphi case. If not, well, we don't have to. But that is the right number up on the screen. Thanks, Seeking Rainbows. Jeff for Brennan. Yeah, he's a cool dude too. He's got a bunch of. I think he used to be. Not sure if he was a detective or sergeant or something like that in San Diego area. He has different cases that he says, "Hey, take a look at this one." Hashtag Jeff S for president. Here, let me open up this folder over here. Yeah, it's not going to be big enough, as big a crowd tonight, because I can tell a bunch of freaks are over watching some other, you know, probably the interview room or something. So if you want to go watch the interview room and not this one, yeah, go ahead. I'm just doing the show. All right. Let's see. It's just, I can always tell certain few that are always over there every single time, no matter what. Where the hell is the folder? Oh, there it is. I almost feel like going through a lot of these old pictures and whatnot. Be kind of interesting just to click on one here and go through some of these images that are on here. So this is one that was in an article. People were making a big deal out of this. Wow, there's like smoke. No, that's just a tree in the foreground. There's a wider angle shot. See, it kind of gives you an idea that that bank is pretty damn high over there. See that? That's just across the creek over there. Oh yeah, I found the exact spot. So there's the shallow area, and then I found how the trees are like that, and then that branch right there, and that was it. That one, that angle, see how this camera is in off the right edge? Is almost exactly where Libby was standing when she took that picture. Right there. The branches in the background, look at this, watch. The branches lined up. Look at this thing right here. See that? This part right here is part of this photo. And then way up here are, I mean, they just absolutely, everything lined up so perfectly, it was incredible. Oh, there's one of Cheyenne's photographs right there. Very, very clear image. And again, see, this photo shows those same two barriers that people kept calling people over and over and over again. There's another one of Cheyenne's with the crazy railroad spike right there. This is looking at the end of the bridge, and that's the yellow tape going off the end of the bridge. I haven't really looked into it all, but at the time it was pretty crazy one. I mean, I don't know what they're doing with it or what, Miss Frellis, but it was just something that was like, wow, you know, that's weird. And maybe someday, if it turns, I'll tell you what, if it turns out that it's nothing to do with anything, I'll show you guys anyways, because it was crazy. Yeah, and see, that's a good way to see how steep it is heading up to the cemetery. This is the back end of the crime scene right there. And this is a shot from the crime scene looking back over, and look how you can see the bridge there. Okay? People say, oh, you can't see it, you can't. No, it's right there. And some portions you could actually see a person moving along if you just kind of looked up there and you kept seeing a shape moving. So this is on the other bank across the creek from the bridge side. So what you're looking at in that shot is probably right here, you know, just kind of looking back towards the bridge over here. Probably you could almost make out the, it's probably right here actually. See that branch, like one, either this one or this one, because I think you can see right here. I think you'd be able to see that on this overhead shot. There's none of those are over here, right? So it's either this one or right there, you know, right in this area, and that's right near the crime scene, just right a little bit downstream from it. Okay, and then this is a photograph that Beth took out there. Almost absolutely the same as the one that Libby took. See? See the little the vine right there? The little vine, the vine. This part, everything's exactly the same. But that's the part that was funny when she was out there. I told her, look for that vine. You can see it right here. And she goes, what vine? There's vines everywhere. And look, there are vines all over the place. But there isn't really too many that has one right in the middle like that. And there it was. Boom. Every single thing perfectly matched up. So that's where Libby took that first photograph. And then later on this platform right there, she goes onto it, turns around, and takes a shot back towards this camera of the full bridge and Abby in the shot. Yeah, I don't even know. I just have so many screenshots that I stored over the years. I don't even know what was on those written ones. You'll probably look later and go, oh, look at it. I was actually trying to get the height map out there too, so I can make a 3D, my own 3D version of the crime scene. And that's this photo right here. I found it. There's the bridge. And then this is a height map. And never really worked that well, so. Thank you, Karen Wilson. Hey, welcome, Amber E. And here's an old map, Delphi Cemetery. I don't know who earlier said it was a Masonic last week. Oh, it's a Masonic cemetery. Well, show me some proof of that. Hey. Hey, Chloe, what are you barking at, buddy? That's Chloe. I didn't even know she had that bark. Weird. Well, any of you guys going to be calling in or what? I mean, this is the Delphi call-in night. What is this? I don't know what that is. Sometimes you save something in the wrong place. Well, might be a short night tonight. It always takes that one call. Hey, Amy, yeah, I feel the same way, Amy. But if you, but the fact that you type it in means that bye-bye. What an idiot. Yeah, I just don't have time for people like you, Amy. Sorry. Yeah, you might be bored, Amy, but why don't you call in then, Amy? You're so judgmental. Normally we get a whole bunch of calls, but you're not calling in, are you, idiot? No, you sure aren't. Okay, so go Z somewhere else. Oh, finally, somebody.
Hey, Gray. Gray, I had a question. Does he have a dog inside of his shirt?
That's it? After all that time? After all that damn time, you want to know if there was a dog inside the shirt?
Yes, I do, Gray. It looks just like the outline of a dog.
Well, that's true. It looks like an outline of a dog. But do dogs in real life have outlines on them?
Well, no, they don't.
What do?
Cartoons.
That's right. So a cartoon might have an outline of a dog, but there definitely is not a cartoon dog inside of a real person on the bridge.
Well, that's a good point, Gray. Goodbye.
See, hey, we got that first call out of the way. No, thank you. Thank you, Mary Lou.
You're welcome, Gray.
Oh, man, you called back just to say you're welcome.
Yes, I did. Why do you keep hanging up on me, Gray?
Hell, I'll just do this all night, man. We don't even need to have callers. How about this one? Let's see. Great. Oh, hold on a second. Were you talking to me? Man, I think I hit the wrong button. I hung up on the guy. Hello?
Yeah, Gray, I just want to ask you a question. Do you think the killer parked his car at the cemetery?
Well, no, I don't, Timmy. I really don't. I don't think they parked the car at the cemetery at all. I think they may have walked through the cemetery to get back out to 300 and then walk towards the parking area.
Thank you very much, Gray.
Well, thank you, Timmy, for call number 2. Excellent call, Timmy. Yeah, that poor Timmy. Yeah. Hello?
Hey, Gray.
Who is this?
John Boy.
Okay, yeah, John Boy. What do you got for me, John Boy?
Well, I was just wondering if the vehicle was abandoned or was it the car that was abandoned? Can you fill me in on that, Gray?
Yeah, as I've said 1,000 times, John Boy, it was an abandoned. The building was abandoned, and the vehicle was just parked there. Okay, we even verified that with Sergeant Jerry Holman. He called in and said that months and months ago. It's even I think I have a whole show on that.
Okay, well, I just wanted to give you some content.
Well, thanks for having me repeat the same thing over and over and over again.
No problem, Gray.
Yep. Like what? It's Chris. I don't have a poll question. Hey, thanks, Julie Keith. Welcome to Megazoid. Well, if you have an idea, then type it in. I don't want to do the Chadwell one. You're one of the only people that thinks that. Let's see. I'm not that interested. Cemetery on 300. Cliffs to trails. Oh, I'll just do that one first. Or to trail. Oh, get rid of the S that I put on there. Maybe I'll do it for you a little bit, Jennifer. We'll see what happens. You're just so focused in on the one person that even the family said, yeah, they said we're not really that interested. So we'll see. Totally different MO. He was hunting as opposed to luring on the other one. All right, 316.
Yo, Gray, what's up?
Not much. Oh yeah, what's going on?
What's the algae bloom theory? Not a troll.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So about the Delphi case, I don't really have necessarily like questions for you, but more of like a profile, I guess. And please don't beat me up and bash me over this, because you probably will attack me. Have you ever wondered if this isn't like a BTK kind of person?
What do you mean?
Like, somebody that's hiding in plain sight that holds a responsible job.
Yeah, I've said that a million times. Yeah, I think he's just a guy that might even be married, has a wife, maybe kids, blends right in. I've said it many times, so why would I attack you for that?
Right, okay, but do you think maybe it could also be somebody like law enforcement?
Well, when you say could be, I don't really like that one. I'd rather have you ask, is it likely? Because when anything could be something.
Likely ends in LY, so then that would mean I'm lying.
No, likely means it ends in a no. It doesn't mean you're... Yeah, I see what you're saying, but you saying likely ends in a no for me, okay? Yeah.
So
not an LY.
Do you think, what do you think the odds are that it could maybe be somebody in law enforcement? Or that has ties to the case.
I don't know, 1 in 1,000, maybe?
In and around the area.
1 in 1,000, maybe? Yeah, just
I don't know. There's just something strange to me about it.
Well, do you think the FBI would have caught on to somebody if it was in law enforcement? They're right there the whole time. They knew exactly. They were absolutely all over everything. I think they would have caught on to somebody who seemed to be covering something up. Right.
It could have also been somebody, again, that was like BTK, who worked for Park City, who was in charge of a lot of things in Park City that hid behind a badge.
Yeah.
In a government position.
Yeah, it could be I know, but you're not giving me any information. See, you're just saying, could it be this? And I'm going to go, sure, it's possible, just extremely unlikely, because you're not giving me any reason why you think it. Do you have a reason?
The reason why I think it...
Well, no, but give me factual things that you know is out there that lead you to believe that. Can you give me some? Not just sort of another speculation reason. I need you to give me a fact that leads you to believe it might be law enforcement.
There's not a whole lot. I mean, the only facts we really know about this case are the times and the dates that the girls were dropped off, that they were found, and who was involved in the search party.
Well, there's a lot more than that. It's like where they were on the bridge, the direction they...
Right, what time they were on the bridge.
Like all everything like that.
The time the picture was taken.
Right, so, but what makes you think that it's law enforcement? Like, what give you a... How about this? Forget giving me a fact. What was the sort of... Wow, I wonder if it's law enforcement because this happened. You know what? I hear crickets. I actually hear real crickets in the background.
I think there are people that are in law enforcement, maybe not necessarily working on this case, but maybe in CSI or in a different field that are they think they can get away with doing crimes like this and how to cover it up, and
I know.
And the fact that we've gone this long and we've not caught who it is, and they left just a tiny minuscule trace of DNA would allude me to believe that whoever did this, I mean, they did a pretty darn good job of capturing 2 young girls, and forcing them across the river. Nobody heard anything. They got them to do exactly what they wanted them to do.
That's what killers do.
And they left very little DNA.
Yeah, but serial killers do that too. So why does it need to be a law enforcement person?
I think a lot of serial killers or a lot of murderers in general typically tend to mess up somewhere along the line to where they leave some sort of major evidence.
I know, like having a photograph in your voice. Man, that'd be weird. Oh wait, it did happen in this.
Well, that's another reason. I mean, we have a huge piece of evidence here.
Right, but that's the exact opposite of what you just said. Wouldn't that be really dumb to for an officer to allow himself to, unless, he couldn't, maybe
Well,
he didn't
do you think
tell.
that person
I don't
in
think they
that photo
saw
is
it.
disguised?
No, not really. I think that they just couldn't see that she was recording. So that would be either law enforcement or a regular person wouldn't have noticed that she had this phone really down low and filming.
Well, yeah, that I definitely agree with you on. She was very smart by doing that, and that upsets me that she did a very, very smart thing by doing that. And to this day, we still have not caught this person. It's beyond me.
Yeah.
And the fact that, I mean, I know once you had mentioned at the crime scene, now the detectives on the case have not released a whole lot of information to the public on what they found. But I do remember you saying that they did locate a little bit of touch DNA, correct?
Yep. Yeah.
So if they found a little bit of touch DNA,
okay,
I guess with two girls, that's a very minuscule amount for them to be able to trace.
I know. I mean,
anything.
I know, but that that doesn't point to law enforcement or anything. Nothing you've said points to law enforcement. You're just sort
you
of
don't
throwing.
think the fact that
No, I don't think
there's
anything
hardly
you said.
any evidence left
Well, no,
behind would mean
there's
that this
lots
is
of
somebody that
evidence.
knows what they're doing?
They said that there's lots of evidence. It just hasn't led to anybody. Would a person in law enforcement spend time leaving signatures or something? Seems like they would just kind of want to get in and out and kind of leave as minute, like that's extra stuff that wasn't needed. Why would they want to do that?
Okay, well, maybe you've talked me out of the law enforcement thing, but I do believe this person is probably hiding in plain sight and is very well known to the public and to the community, and I think it would be the last person anybody would probably least expect.
Yeah, maybe. But also, like you asked before, could it be law enforcement? Technically, sure, it's possible that somebody out there. So you can't completely rule it out. Okay, I'm just saying that I don't see anything that indicates it's going to be that. Okay, but you never know. That's the thing. Nobody knows who the killer is. And there's a lot of men that are in law enforcement, and the killer's a man, and there's law enforcement in the air. Who knows, right? But I just think it's very unlikely. Extremely unlikely. That's all I can say.
Here's another thing that keeps going through my mind. If they were approached by somebody that they knew, like a principal, a teacher, a pastor, somebody, and they said, "Get girls down the hill," they would probably listen to an authority figure, not necessarily
he didn't say it like
thinking.
that. He didn't say it like that. Yeah. See, that's another thing too. There's another YouTuber who's like he's a ex cold case. I don't know what the hell he does, but he said, "Look how it says, guys, down the hill." Like he said it. He's already said it before.
Down the hill.
He's already said it before.
You're right.
He's already said it before. He's already said, "Guys, look at the." No, it's not. That isn't what happened. All it is, guys, like, hey guys, just walking by, just how you would say it. Hey guys, think about how you'd say it in your own mind. Hey guys. Then he gets past them, looks around, pulls out a gun. Hey, waves it probably down the hill. Yeah, that's probably how it went.
But it could also be like their PE teacher.
But it's not, though. They didn't know who any of this...
Or an authority figure or something, and they're just like, oh crap, we're in trouble.
It's not, because they don't know the person. So I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to figure out some other thing. But they didn't know the person. They didn't know who this guy was that was coming towards them. So it wouldn't have been their PE teacher or anything like that. Right? You understand that?
I mean, I understand. I can always understand your perspective of things, and I always like, you're very intelligent.
Well, no, I'm just saying to you.
And that's
understand.
why I like to hear your point of view.
Well, no, I'm just telling you. You understand, though. Like, they girls didn't know the person on the bridge. That's the whole point. That's why they were wondering, like, which way to go. That's why they were recording the person. There was no indication at all listening
right,
to
like
any
this
of them.
is a stranger, we're videoing them, we don't.
So you gotta think of it like this is a complete stranger. That whole story about, it was law enforcement pretending to be law enforcement, having her go down the hill is a completely bogus theory that was out there online. Like, hey, there's some, it's hazardous. I need to get you down the hill. I mean, wow, that just doesn't even fit the information. So I just think it's this complete stranger to them.
I never even heard that theory.
I think it's a complete stranger to them, and it's going to be, there might be somebody in the community that's known, but the girls wouldn't have known this guy. Where are you? I hear crickets.
Yeah, I think my earbud's disconnected. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I actually can hear real crickets,
Yeah, I'm sitting out.
Oh, she got disconnected. Oops. All right. 603, you're on. 603. 603. You got to turn down your other audio. Hello. Hello. Yep. Who's this?
K-Rec.
Okay.
Hi.
Hey, it's Derrick.
You got both of us this time.
Okay. What's going on? How are the boxes doing?
Not too much, man.
People seem to like your boxes.
Yeah. I figured I'd call and save you because no one was calling. I think that woman called the exact same time that we did.
Yeah.
So she got in right before us.
Yeah.
So
it's no big
the
deal.
Freak's over watching the other channel right now? Is that why it's a slow night or what?
Oh, I don't know if they're over there. I just know that there's another Summer Wells show tonight.
Do you think people would get sick of it? I mean, there's nothing new,
Yeah, I mean, I do a show every once in a while, but it's like I gotta, I did 3 days not doing it, and then I did one, and it's just, I don't know. It's hard to compete on nights when there's a show, somebody else is doing a show where there's thousands of people watching. Kind of just sucks all of the oxygen out of it, but it's all right.
Right. Yeah, you don't need the fake people anyways. You got the loyal ones, which what this matters.
Yeah. So what's going on?
So you think this is still going to be solved this year, or what? I know we're hopeful at the beginning. Felt like something was going to happen, but as time's gone on, it's kind of...
Yeah, well, I still have hope it'll be this year, but who knows?
Yeah, we do too.
Maybe next year on the fifth year anniversary, right? Maybe.
Yeah, I'm still thinking that they have, I think they know pretty, well who it is. It's just, and that's the only thing that makes any sense why they wouldn't release anything. Is if they really knew who it was and they don't want to give anything else. They're just kind of waiting for whoever it is to slip up. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, that's something people say, that they already kind of know who the person is, and they're just kind of following around, waiting to be able to prove it.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. That's what it is, anyways. Because we probably know, 5 to 10% of what they know. So you'd hope that they would have somebody. I mean, with all the evidence, and
yeah.
I mean, it's shocking that they have a video, the guy's voice, and no one's been arrested. It's crazy to think it's been going to be 5 years. That's crazy.
Well, they need to get out and play the audio and the video a hell of a lot more. All over the place.
I think you said that. I really think if they just played that nationwide for a week straight, just playing it for a minute on every, major, state channel, I think that could really do something.
Yeah, you'd hope so anyways. That somebody would hear something, but man, I don't know. It's just... Wow, they just kind of were dealt a really crappy hand investigatory-wise, it sounds like. Like they don't have a good DNA sample. It's not even really reliable place where the DNA was retrieved from. It's not something that indicates even they're associated. It might be interesting if even with the little bit of DNA they have, they could find somebody and they're just watching that person because it's just a lead, and it was somebody that they hadn't marked as being there, and it's maybe they're kind of following around trying to get more information on that person. That'd be cool.
That's what I'm hoping. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm hoping. But you know that that lead or whatever that thing you were listened in on, or the tip you were privy to? Are you still hopeful on that?
I mean, you're always hopeful on it. I mean, it was just really interesting. I mean, I'll show you guys at some point someday when it's determined yes or no or whatever. But it's pretty it's pretty weird. Yeah, it's one that you would go, wow. That that's all I can say. Can't give you any more information.
Right. If it makes you, excited, then you know it's got to be legit.
Yeah, well,
so I'm hopeful in that. If it just.
I just know it was turned in as a tip. I don't know what they did with it. They might have went, oh, yeah. But to me, it was one of the more interesting ones for sure. Probably the most interesting one I've seen.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty weird. So.
Yeah, it's been a long enough time that I can imagine those families going through that, and then just I can imagine always looking, over my shoulder because you don't know if the person's still there. Like we heard the sister Kelsey talking about. I mean, that'd be crazy to go through that and always be looking and looking and looking. Right. I mean, because the guy kind of looks like the sketches look like everybody. I mean, you look at him and it's like any one of those people up there, the police officer, any one of them could have looked like him. It seems like everybody in Indiana could look like that guy.
Yeah.
But the sketches, it's kind of confusing. The two sketches, I really don't. The second one really doesn't make any sense because it really doesn't, like you say, it looks like a young Tom Cruise.
Yep, Tom Cruise and a hobo. Oh, but they look kind of similar, people say.
Yeah, I don't
really?
see any similarities between the two.
Yeah, the two sketches, everybody, I don't care how you try to gaslight somebody, they don't look like each other at all. If anything, it is the ugly stepbrother of the young guy that's a hobo living on a street. Okay, but they don't look similar whatsoever. Okay, people go, well, seriously, if you look at the mouth, we do the. Please don't try to pretend, people. Just look. They don't look anything alike.
And I had to give you some, credit, man. Last night, you nailed it when you went on that rant about the morality police and the whole thing. And oh my God, I couldn't have said it any better myself, man. I was literally clapping. That needed to be said. It was just.
What was the main? I've done it before. What was the main topic of that part, though?
It was the summer wells. People were. I believe it was last night. It was the people. They were talking about. It was either the house was the dirty house, or how they lived, and.
Yeah, it was more. No, it was more about how they sit there and accuse them of being the killer. And I said, if it turns out later that they're not the killers, would you guys feel bad and apologize for it? And they go, no, I wouldn't feel bad at all. And I said, well, you are the exact idiots that shouldn't be watching true crime. You're the worst of the worst.
Exactly. Yeah. And you're and you're the exact piles of shit who are worse than them.
Yeah, they are worse than them. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. Yeah. Hiding behind the keyboard, none of them that's what they do. I love that you just finally, it seemed like you just had enough of it. I don't know if you saw a comment or what it was.
Yes, a comment.
But I heard it, I was just clapping.
I had two people that were sitting there going, oh God, no, it's Don. Hey, listen, guys, it could be Don. I don't know, and nobody knows. And so the thing is when people go, oh, it's Don, like they just know, and it turns out it's not him, and you were accusing them, you should feel bad that you did that. I think it's okay to speculate based on information, but you have to word it in a way that's not directly saying, especially the live cases, the ones that are now, cold cases are a little different where you can go, oh man, I think this guy, but still, even if you say, I think this guy did it, that's different than saying, oh, this guy did it. On these newer cases, the ones that are, especially the ones going on, it's irresponsible.
Yep. Yeah, it totally is. And I agree with you about the kids, in the videos, they look like they're having a good time, They obviously don't have a ton of money, but they're doing, what they can. I know the guy has a past, and and all that. But I mean, geez, you're crucifying both of them.
Yeah.
You know, put yourself in their shoes. You have no idea what they're going through. And if it comes out that they have not, I don't think I'd be shocked at this point if it is them.
It'd be weird because their interviews, they sound so not guilty.
I don't know. There's nothing that comes up red flag to me. They just, you know, they just seem like, they seem kind of devastated. You know, I don't know. I think everybody acts differently, especially in that situation. But I would be shocked if they were the ones who did anything.
No right way to act in that type of situation. You can't, say you're supposed to be doing this and that. You don't know until you're in that situation.
Well, I think we should start a new YouTube channel, and it's just for teaching people how to act so that the YouTube masses don't get angry at them if anything ever happens to them. So, like, if your child is prone to running away, please join this YouTube channel, and we'll show you exactly how to act in any given situation so the trolls on social media don't act the way they do. Now, listen, when you're sitting there, please do not use past tense, even though everybody uses that. Just don't ever do it, ever. Yeah. And then people will say, but also get ready, because if you don't use it past tense, some people will go, wow, isn't that weird? They never use past tense. I mean, some people will do it accidentally sometimes. Okay, so be aware that that's out there, but in general, you just don't want to do that. And also, cry a lot, have genuine tears, carry a packet of salt with you, and look away and throw it in your eyes. Make sure you get those tears going, because if you don't cry at every second that they're out there, wow. Okay, we'll have like different chapters, part 1, 2, 3, that kind of thing. And then we'll have, what we could do? We could do it sort of like how the... what is that religion? What's the one that Tom Cruise is in? What the hell's the name of that?
Scientology.
Yeah, we can do it like that, where there's different stages, right? And then you'll be like fully enlightened at a certain point. And then guess what, everybody? You have to start all over again.
That's right.
Once you get to that final stage, you just start over again. Except now, part 1 cost $100,000.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Man, it'll be awesome. We'll be
man.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You had me rolling the other day. I was in the ambulance, and literally I had to pull over. You were, I think you were on with Chasing Truth, and it was like the next day, and I was just listening to it through the Bluetooth, and you had said, "Oh, look, there's the red truck, everybody." The way you did it, man, you just had me dying. I rewound that thing like 10 times to listen to it. I got home and I was like, look, babe, look. I was like, this is so funny. Like, I love when you do that stuff. I die laughing. You do it all the time. I just loved it.
Yeah, I remember
I was like,
that
I wonder if the red truck was really there.
Yeah.
And then I looked and there was a red truck.
I even slowed it down, too. I slowed it down. Look, there's a red truck, everybody. Oh.
Look, everybody.
Look it. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Dude, love it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, man. Figured we'd call in and try to get people to start calling it, but somebody called them the exact time as we did.
Well, I might just go play some of the, a press conference or something. Normally that makes people feel like they want to call in or something. But I appreciate you calling in. And, hey, everybody, don't forget to buy the boxes. Those cool boxes.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find the one that doesn't say Hostley.
It's
this one. This one right here. Look at these boxes. They're awesome. Look at that. Boom. Open it up. They even have stuff in there. Boom. So mean.
Yeah, you know it glows in the dark, right?
Oh yeah.
You gotta put the light on it, but it definitely glows in the dark when you open it if you have a light on it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Awesome. So put your guys' links in there so they can get some more of those.
All right, brother. Well, we'll keep in touch and keep being awesome, man. I appreciate it.
Well, hey, thanks for calling in, and thanks for doing what you do out there with the, paramedic.
Oh, no problem. My pleasure. I appreciate it, Gray.
Well, have a good one. Appreciate you calling in.
All right, you too.
All right, bye.
All right, night.
D&K Rack. Yeah, I also have another box. This one's really cool, too. Look at this one they sent. So this one has on the top like a crime scene, Grady's investigates, freak, Chloe, blue, all kinds of stuff. Blue on this side, magnifying glasses. Then there's even a inside there, like a little pinup board. Boom. Yeah, pretty cool. All right, so let me see what we got here for. The other show is called Scene of the Crime. Delphi. Chloe. Okay. Is it this one? Yeah, this is March 7th, 2017. So at this point, he's talking about, yeah, maybe there's another guy there, and everyone runs with that. But this is so early on, he didn't have a clue what he was talking about.
Stay off of the air. I think he was actually on vacation, Captain Burston.
I think it's probably the vacation that none of us would have wanted to have taken.
I know somebody that didn't want him to take it, Shelley. Shelley, his wife, said you didn't need to be doing that. But I'm glad he's back and he's 100% ready to go. Captain, thank you for being with us today. Captain Dave Burston, the Public Information Officer of the Indiana State Police. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Rich. Appreciate the invitation to be here.
And unfortunately, we've got a sad topic that we're going to be talking about today. But I think...
Not really, Brianna. I think you're watching the wrong channel there. You're going to have to remove that one. Thanks.
I think the more we can get this out, the more information that people know about and see and hear about this can help out on this investigation. And we're talking about the obviously the double homicide there in Delphi and the unfortunate.
Hey, Brianna, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to sell that other YouTube channel. Get the hell out of here, okay? Nobody's interested.
That those two little girls.
Yeah, very, very.
I've covered a whole bunch of those cases. All right. A lot of cases out there. A lot of Indiana cold cases. How about you?
Sad, very tragic. I know that now we have a reward that is well in excess of $200,000. We are still looking for tips. We've received 8,000 plus tips. Those are still being looked at, each one of them. Some of us, I know, are getting tips sent to us directly. We kind of discourage that because that can slow down the process, but right. We're not going to turn away the information.
Yeah, hey, Brianna, it's really rude to come onto a show where clearly in the title it says Delphi call-in night on Sundays, because that's what I've been doing for that case. It's really rude of you. You understand that? Because this has nothing to do with anything that you're talking about. You're trying to put all the attention on yourself, and it's not working. Everyone's just embarrassed with what you're saying.
So we are working diligently to solve this.
Well, let's start at the very beginning. What we do know, what took place. I know you've been involved up there with Sergeant Slope.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Brianna. That sounds great. I don't even know who you are. I've never seen you before in my life. I don't know what you're talking about.
And
what refunds? What are you talking about, Brianna? You sound like an absolute moron. Okay, I've donated tons and tons of money, $27,500 this year and $22,000 last year. So why don't you call those charities up and say, hey, can you give me back some of the money? You know, a portion of the. You're just a fool. Oh, look at that, everybody. There it is, everybody. Right there. Brianna said, rolling on the floor, laughing her ass off. Now, let me just say this right now. If she's literally on the floor right now, rolling around, and her ass fell off, she needs to be sent to an emergency room and a psych ward at the same time. Okay? Because that's a weird thing to be rolling around on the floor laughing about. Very strange. I don't know any time that you've donated. Brianna, when? 2 years ago? 10 years ago? Who the hell knows? Look it. There's people that are here every single night, and they help out every night of the week, and they're here. I know who they are. There's a whole bunch of Briannas that are on this channel, and some are way more common than you are. I don't remember you. I don't remember. I don't even know, okay? Good for you. Oh, 10 minutes ago. Okay, great. So I'll go ahead and send it back to you. I don't know who you are, but I'm going to send you back the part that after Google or YouTube takes their portion of it, okay? Man, what a weirdo. Gee, first time in your life you've donated. That's why you didn't look familiar. You know, I'm doing a show, right? Later on, I might recognize your name.
Sergeant Riley, the PIO's up there in Delphi and have firsthand knowledge of what's going on during the news release doing the news conference with Superintendent Carter. Walk us through from what we know right now from the very beginning.
Well, we know that one of the parents dropped off.
God, what a Karen. Wow.
Abby and Libby, best friends, to go on a walk in the trail there by the Monon railroad tracks that have been abandoned and over the high bridge there.
I mean, really good audio, though, here, right? And by the way, if your name is actually Karen out there, I'm sorry that your name's been hijacked by a movement of weirdos.
And the plan was to drop them off and pick them up later. And they did not arrive at the appointed time. And, you know, initially, okay, maybe they're just having a good time out, going to be a little late. But then it goes from being just a little bit late to hours late into darkness. And now true concern about what's happened, what's transpired. And then results in a search the following day. And volunteers that were searching found their bodies.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, hey, Brianna, next time, how much did you donate earlier, Brianna? Let me know. How much was it? Go ahead. No, go ahead, Brianna. How much did you donate earlier? I didn't see it. Okay? Let me know. How much was it? How much was it? Go ahead. How much was it that you donated earlier? Was it $5? Okay. Go ahead. Let me know how much it was. Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. We already donated $500 tonight to Rain. Next month, I'll reduce the amount I donate to make up for the amount that you wanted back. Okay, I'm sorry. So the charity's going to get less. Hey, thank you, LM, Reckless, and Brandy Bradford, making up the difference. God, what a fool. Hey, look at that. We got a cover the refund fund. You guys are awesome. It's amazing. Oh, you didn't have to hide her. Well, that's all right. He was just causing problems. All right, let me see. Hold on. I got to go check now. Yeah, thanks. That's okay that you hit her. Thank you. Another troll. But let me go find it. What was her name again? It was, Brianna. Let's go look. Well, thank you. Wow, you guys are nuts. Michelle Inhausen. Or Imhausen. Hausen? Is it Imhausen? Lady, Eula S., Allie Cake, Miss L, LM, Reckless, and Brandy Bradford. Oh yeah, she donated $1. She did. That was real. That was real, everybody. Oh my God, it was $1. Okay, listen, I'll tell you what. I'll send you. How about this? Would a pack of gum work for you? Hey, Mag, thank you. That's freaking hilarious. Making a big scene over $1 like that. Oh my God. Wow. Hey, thank you. Wait, your last name is Phil Lee? So it's really just Phil, right? Because a Lee means that you were lying about the Phil. Yeah, wow. Paisley Dreams. It should be Paisley Lee Dreams. And then we've got JP rolling on the floor, laughing my butt off. And then Mag with a cat eye donation to cover her donation, because a donation is a donation that should never be refunded. Well, thank you. You easily covered that.
Brianna is the type to demand a refund at McDonald's after eating 75% of the hamburger. Head over mouth.
I think you're right. Makes sense. Thank you. Da-da-da-da-da. Wow, you guys are awesome. Wow, all of that. Well, I want my money back. I was going to do so much with that.
The best true crime plus comedian YouTuber 365. We love you.
No, there isn't a new press conference, Karen. This is just way back in March 7th, 2017. Weird. That was so weird. Yes, everybody. See, we all know where this protest deal in Indiana, we know where that's originating from. We know that there's a channel out there doing the same stuff they do all the time, trying to take over some other person's movement. And, you know, we know what's going on. And yes, they got, it looks like there was a bill that was passed, but it had nothing to do with that channel. It had to do with other people that were doing it before, and they were able to get, like, once a case has been deemed like a cold case, they can get the records on it. Thanks, Jen Richards. Lee D. Not Liberty. Lori Grant. Lori Staggs. Plato. D&K Rec. Jen Richards. Michelle Imhausen. Am I saying that right? Imhausen? Hey, help me out on that one. How do you spell? Do a phonetic spelling for me. Nah, it's somebody else. I don't know. Well, there's another person that I guarantee she's talking about. That same person covered the Lauren Spear case and is doing these protests. Yeah, it's horrible. I just said, how about we bring it up another night, you know? It's really rude. Oh, Imhausen. Oh, Imhausen. Okay. Is that an actual name, or is that like... I'm housing this weekend. I'm looking for a house. Housing. Is housing a new verb? There's no protest there. Well,
left
they're just
off a penny so
booths
you can throw it her way.
You know, they were protesting for a couple weeks prior. Yeah, so we've got, wow. So a lady named Amita just did a PayPal, very generous one. I mean, it's, you know, really just insane, like just an insane amount. Like, I can't even say it. So then we've got a Lori, or actually, now I'm not going to say the other name, but you know who you are. And Paulette. And then also... Oh, look, we got a phone call coming in. Thanks, everybody. Wow, you guys are... you guys are awesome. Oh, to get the horses out there for Jennifer? All right, 502. Steve from Louisville, what's going on?
Yeah, man. I've just listened to some calls earlier about you know, how this guy could possibly be a
horse.
Hold on one second. Okay, go ahead.
Just speculating tonight out here, man, about how the guy, being local and the police might know who he is. It's just nothing there that they can get him on. It's interesting. There's a guy that I know that I do a lot of work for on the side. He's an older man. He's a retired detective here in Louisville. Matter of fact, he still works with our police department. He's a guy you'll hear like on the local, local commercials. He'll do the 582 clue, call in if you have any tips about unsolved robberies and murders around Louisville. Anyways, I spoke with him. We talk about true crime. We talk about the Delphi thing a lot. And I asked him about that. I said, have you ever been in a situation or any time in your career where you guys have a guy and it's him, but there's just, you have to follow the law and they have to pick the case up. And he talked about how back in the, I would say early 70s, he said there was a gentleman that robbed a store and killed a guy, and they were just certain it was him. And he said to this day, he even sees the guy walking around town. We live in the same neighborhood. And he said, yeah, it's a terrible feeling. And I just, I wonder, that's got to be I wonder if that's what we got going on in Delphi.
Well, kind of beat right at the end. What's going on in Delphi? Is that what you said?
No, I'm saying like it's just we talked about how how this guy could be someone local that the police are familiar with, but there's just nothing they can get him on. And
yeah, well,
it was just
that's definitely something that seems like there's a lot of people that think that that's what's going on. They're just waiting for him to slip up somewhere, or maybe they're really interested in somebody, they really feel like it's them, but they can't find that one thing that links them. And who knows? Right? It's just
it's just when we were discussing that, he's this gentleman that I know is definitely has seen that firsthand, where he's even seen this individual. It's been several years ago, but he would see the guy around town. He lives in the same neighborhood as the guy. But I just I've dug so deep into this Delphi case, and it's like there's nothing else to learn, it seems like. Now, is it true that they blacked the media out? Is the media with the police department? Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I think that's a real thing. That was in an article too. That's what Toby's saying. He was just talking a little too much here and there, so they had to keep him a little bit quieter.
I guess there could be nothing there. It could be something. I don't know. That's all we can do is speculate. But man, I live about 3 hours south of Delphi, and I think here in a few weeks, I'm trying to talk the old man into coming up there with me. I just want to. I'm not going to bother anybody, but I want to drive up there and just look around and just see the place. Have you ever been out there?
Oh no, I live like 2,700 miles away. I live in Oregon.
Oh, yeah, that would. Okay.
I mean, here's the thing: is I had people go out there and take tons and like they were on the bridge filming while I was on the other end of the phone, and we got all the shots that we needed, and I really feel if I was there right now, I could go anywhere there, and I know exactly how to get there. The thing I've seen so many videos.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I've seen like your maps are excellent, all that stuff you do, man. Like I'm sure it's like you could probably navigate your way through town.
Yeah, I can definitely get around there. Like I would know exactly how to get to the crime scene. I would know exactly how to get to the bridge. I would know, you don't have to be there to know it. Although you get you do get a little different perspective when you're there, just to see it in person, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can easily drive up there, man. It's a 3-hour drive, give or take. I just want to stand there and just look at the area. That bank you mentioned earlier, I've seen people that have got footage of the area, and man, that bank is just extremely steep. If I understand this right, it's so bizarre to to march them up that bank, or maybe they ran up that bank. Is that?
Yeah.
What do you think about this?
Well, I don't think that's the location though. If you go downstream a little bit, the bar goes more across over there, and the bank's a lot shallower. Gotcha. It's possible that they went there and maybe tried to climb up the bank or something, but I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I think if he had them do it, he would have gone downstream. If they were escaping, they would go to the closest thing, and that could have been where they went, and they just struggled to get up the bank. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if some of their clothing was muddy or anything like that.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to go see it myself. I don't know. It feels kind of weird, though. I don't want to. I wonder, they probably get all kinds of people because it's kind of sensational.
They have trail cameras out there.
Yeah.
Well, if you go there and you just have to walk across the bridge. It's not the safest thing in the world. And then you go down, you go down the other end of the bridge. You go down the first hill to the private drive, then down the next one to the lowest level, and then take a right and head towards the creek. And then you'll be at the sandbar there. There's other ways to get there, of course. You can go down the trail, then walk along the cliffs, and then you'd have to walk across the creek to get to the bridge. But
yeah.
Just consult the maps, man. Load one of those maps up I've got, and boom, it's easy.
Oh, absolutely, dude. I'm gonna use your maps. I'll have it. I'll be moving around pretty easily, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, take some pictures and send them to me.
Yeah, I will, man. I'm gonna try to go, in a few weeks here, and I'm gonna try to take the old detective with me. And I doubt if I can get him out of the house, but.
Well, there you go. See what he says.
He digs your show, though, man. We listen to your show. He's a pretty cool old dude, man. He's kind of made me look at cases differently. Kept me from going down rabbit holes and stuff like that. He said that's a real terrible thing for a detective to do, of course.
Well, maybe I help with that too. I mean, I'm an anti-rabbit hole person. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he said this guy, probably could have had a career in law enforcement. He's like, I like how he just keep it to the facts. And he says a lot of times things are more simpler than you think. You don't have to go down this JFK conspiracy rabbit hole thing.
Oh, cool. Well, tell him thanks for the compliment. Appreciate it.
Yeah, he's a good dude, but that's about all I have, man. Like I said, I feel like I have learned everything I could possibly learn about this, and besides going down what I feel are rabbit holes for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty much just doing it every Sunday just to give a place where, keep it active, have a place to discuss it. That's really it. And I try to do a quick recap so that even new people are familiar, at least a little bit, with it. You never know.
Yeah, man, I was just sitting here thinking earlier, man, it's like it's scary to think that someone like this person could be such a chameleon. He definitely has to have no conscience and can probably just function perfectly fine. I think a real lunatic like this he's not going to lose weight or worry about anything, and I think that, there could be people that know him that even joke with him like, man, that sounds like your voice, just as a joke, but he's such a chameleon and a stand-up guy that they wouldn't think to call it in because he doesn't put off the vibes as someone that could do this.
I was just watching something. I can't remember what case it was, but it was just like that. He was ended up being the serial killer, and there was these people that say, "Oh man, that's probably you, isn't it?" Now I can't remember which one it was, but he said that's what they were saying to him. I think we talked about it on the show, or maybe that was something I watched on Netflix. I can't remember, but I mean, it was a real documentary. It was a real thing.
Yeah, and that's the type of person that could do this. I think is not going to have red flags for his family to even observe. He's going to function normal. This is obviously someone without a conscience. That's what's so, terrible to think about, that he's not even sweating it, I guess. They're so narcissistic.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just, I mean, I do think it is somebody that's just going to that's just sort of a regular person, not a flashy person. Nobody's like, oh, he's not a big wig in town. I think he's going to be somebody that's just sort of basically like a Dennis Radar type that I've said. Just a guy that blends in, nothing fancy, and nobody would suspect him at all. That's it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, he would have to be at this point. He's obviously someone that is not going to change demeanor, and is not going to throw red flags to a family member or look any different or you're acting different. Mm-hmm. And I just hope like hell he doesn't strike again.
Yeah, well, me too. I mean, that'd be a shitty way to have to catch him, but there's no but. I mean, I've actually talked to Kelsey would rather have the case not solved if it meant somebody else dies, and I think I would feel the same way. Like, why would you? That'd be really selfish, right? It'd be like, hey, I don't care how it's solved. I don't care if he kills 19 more as long as I get my. Well, I think that was a really cool answer to say. Is like, if he kills one more and that's solved, I'd rather have the person live than have it solved. So,
yeah, she's a sweet girl. I've heard your interview with her, and she's. Yeah. I couldn't imagine going through what that family's going through.
No, it's a nightmare. They were like best friends.
It's mine. It's just it's still. It's hard for me to believe that this guy won't do it again, though. But it's been several years, or not several, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know. This case crosses my mind on a daily basis. It's bizarre. I guess it's because I've got a daughter that's Libby's age, and that really hits home.
Yeah, I think there's always every day it comes in my mind just because. I'll get posts or comments all the time, and it's just at this point I've kind of just done everything that I can do as a citizen. I mean, all the stuff that was important that I did was early on. Now it's just I get a little piece of information here and a piece of information there, but I know for sure that the stuff I was doing early on made a difference. For
it cleared up a lot of stuff for me. Your maps and stuff, and a lot of I've gotten most of my information from your show. The maps were definitely it laid everything out for me, gave me a better understanding of it, and then here in a couple of weeks, I'm going to actually physically stand there.
Well, there you go. Do it.
But I'm glad that you keep it going, keep it in the spotlight.
Yeah, well, make sure that you take some photos when you're out there, and if you get down to that shallow sandy bar area, take some pictures.
One more thing, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
We did have a news piece down here early in this when this happened, because of how we're fairly close to Delphi. That I believe. There was on our local news here, they were talking about Delphi has even there's a little bit of communication between Louisville and Delphi just because how close they are, and they did a little news piece on that possibly from Louisville and this kind of thing, but that was something a little bit different that was local here.
Probably just wanted people to look at it.
Yeah, I think that because we are about 3 hours south of there, that people are a little more aware of it here where I live at than maybe we're like as far as you live. I think people here are a little more familiar. Matter of fact, I've talked to guys that I work with that they've actually done work in Delphi. I'm an electrician. They've done. There's been jobs that they've stayed up there for a couple of weeks, and it is construction. You travel around a little bit. But.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, get out there.
I try to keep it going. Well, I really do. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you something else. If you get out there and you get to the shallow where the sandbar is, check the bank out and see if I think it gets shallower as it goes downstream. I think it's a lot. Okay. I think not the river. The bank is a lot lower as you go downstream a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. So there you go. All right, I'm gonna get this other caller that's been waiting, but.
Yeah, I appreciate everything you do, Gray. I'll hang up here and listen, man. Thanks, bud.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for calling in. Have a good one.
All right. Good night, brother.
Bye. Wait, what was it? What was his name again? I always like when he calls in. Anybody remember? I like him. He's like a rational thinker. Oh, that's Steve? Okay. Oh, that's right. I remember him saying Steve, and I was like, oh, wait, is this R? There's another Steve that emails me, but it's not the same one. All right. Oh, that person hung up the phone. All right, so anyways, let's play this. They just hung up the phone just then.
We knew that we had a double homicide investigation. And then moving forward from that point of what information that we can publicly share, information.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Get some photos out there.
That we can't share because the ultimate goal is to find the person or persons responsible for this horrible crime and to hold them accountable. People talk about giving closure to the family. I look at my son who's almost 18, and if something like that happened to him, even if the person's caught and held accountable and given the death penalty and I get to watch the execution, there is no closure.
Right, absolutely.
There's no closure.
Boom. God, how many times have I said that? Oh, man. There is no closure, everybody. It doesn't exist. It just allows you to move on to a different chapter, but that chapter's never closed. It's wide open.
Anybody that's a parent will tell you that that losing your child, there is no closure.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the only thing that we can do is make sure that this person or persons cannot do the same thing again.
Church.
And this is kind of a popular place for people to go to walk. It's very, I mean, it's kind of remote, but a lot of people use it.
I think it's something that's locally known and is popular. There's the historic bridge. The tracks, as I recall, were decommissioned in 1985. The rails were pulled off the bridge, and
that's right,
it's 65 feet above ground, I believe, is what I was told as it goes across this area. And it's a popular trail area to be walking, and it's.
See, the term closure makes it sound like that it's like this. Boom! And then you get back to life normally again. Right? Like, see, after my brother died, you know, for the first 2 years, you're sort of in this weird state where you're just never really quite able to just have the great time, or, you know, a little bit, everything's slowed down a little bit. I mean, it is true what Candace was saying. You know, it's just weird, you know, there's weirdness. But eventually you end up you're back to the same, you can live the way that you used to live at some point, but that's always there. There was never this moment. You can definitely get back to living again. But but for parents it's a lot harder because they're supposed to die before their kids. And I think that's some kind of biological deal. And for them, it's a freaking nightmare. I mean, you lose a child, and your life is never the same. And it's hard. You know, of course, you can be happy and have normal times, but you have a lot more lingering pain for a lot longer, for years and years and years.
By all indications, it's a nice, peaceful area to take a hike. And now we have this happen, and it's never going to be forgotten for what happened there now because of the two girls being killed, because of Abby and Libby losing their lives.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
Let's talk a little bit, and you and I were discussing this earlier today before we went on the air, and we've received
that's some great audio.
Questions on this, and I know you have. Is there some information out there that we're not releasing?
Oh, there certainly is. And often people ask that they're not involved in law enforcement.
Here's the thing. We know that there's information still to this day, even though this was back, a lot of information that hasn't been released, because Robert Ives has said in interviews that he thinks that they could release a lot more information, or at least more information. So that means that there is stuff that's out there. Now, does that mean just a little bit more of the words said in the video, a little extra shots? Or is there some other information?
Well, why aren't you releasing everything? And sadly, I have to sit here and tell you, I know you know this, but people that are listening or watching today, there are people that will call up and they will claim responsibility for crimes. Or they will call up out of a want for attention, and they will give what they say they have this solid tip information that they want to provide and share. Right. And they've gleaned it from what's been released. The example that I often give, I said, imagine, if you will, that we go to investigate a burglary. And we get there, and then we find out actually it's been a homicide. And the person was killed because they were stabbed twice in the back. And
no, that's not what happened, Chelsea. He didn't. There wasn't. They didn't even know. The killer didn't know he was being videotaped. She held the phone low, hiding it, and he was probably more, focused in on trying to get over there and get across the bridge to look to see that she's holding a phone, because he's got to look down the whole time. And then she kind of sneaks the phone into her pocket. So he may not have ever known that she had a phone, and maybe he found it at the very end, but he was like, why would I want to take the phone? There would be no reason to take it. He wasn't aware that he was on video and that there was audio. $724. Pretty good. Who's this?
This is Elizabeth.
Well, what's going on, Elizabeth?
I called you. This is the third time I've called you, and I kept debating on whether or not to call in or not.
You mean tonight? Or just over in general?
Tonight.
So you've called 3 times and hung up, hung up, and hung up?
No. This is the third time I've talked to you,
is
what I meant.
Oh, okay.
I did try to call a little bit ago, but then I got an incoming call, and I needed to exit being on hold for you. But because I don't want to frustrate you. I know you get a lot of frustrating things, and I heard you say you have been over this and over each theory so many times. But I don't know. So I'll just say, a couple things on why I called. But one is this lesser known channel. He doesn't have very many videos, maybe a dozen. His name's Paul.
What's the name of it? Yeah, but look, I'm not going to let you come on and sell another channel. If I like I like the channel, I'll sell the channel. So I don't even want you to bring up the name. You didn't need to bring up the name of the channel. Just say what's on the videos that you think are.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because if I want to promote somebody on YouTube, I'll do it.
I wasn't.
Everybody knows the rules on here. You're just okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I didn't, and
we've said it 100
times.
I'm
new to you too, so I'm really sorry.
All right, so
and
go
I'm
ahead.
new to watching your channel. He has a small channel with not many people. I don't know him or anything.
Right.
But he was in a band, it seems. He did have a couple more videos on there.
I know what you're talking
about Delphi. And he deleted some of those. I don't know why. I've never interacted with his
Well, you're talking
channel.
about Paul, right? Yeah, he's on. He comes on my show all the time. Yeah, he talks about a guy in a band. He thinks him and his band members. He's brought it up on our show. He's called in. I don't believe it at all. I just don't even give any credence to it whatsoever. But
apologize. I deeply apologize. I didn't know if maybe you had heard of him or maybe you had heard of.
Yeah.
Just because I feel that this is, for anything I've seen or read on Delphi, it's the closest I've seen to somebody saying, I think I might know the guy. I think it's this specific guy. Other than the people who are blaming some of the other strange guys they did in the beginning. Or
what I've said before is he's exactly the type of, Paul and his, that's exactly what they're looking for, is somebody that goes, oh man, as soon as I saw that, I knew that was him, and he sounds just like that. That's what you were looking for. It's just that I don't know. I mean, he says that all of his friends think the same thing, and they're all.
And they've
turned him in. What's that?
since you said you've talked to him and he's a part, comes on your show, or
no, he doesn't come on my show. He shows up in the chat. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think he may have said this in one of the videos he deleted, but I think he said that guy passed away. Is that right?
Yeah. He was like in a band.
I don't remember why. Yeah, they were in a band.
I don't remember what.
I was looking for the video, but like I said, most of the ones he has on that subject are deleted. But I wasn't 100%. I went to look before I called you because I wanted to try to be sure with my thoughts and not just guess off the wall. But I thought he said the guy had passed away.
He did.
You're not sure either?
No,
Oh, he did.
I'm sure that he said that. Yeah, I don't remember what the reason he passed away was. If it was suicide or some other deal, I can't remember.
Yeah, and so you don't feel it's possibly that guy he knows?
Well, I mean, everything is always possible, but he's turned in the tip, right? And this has been months and years ago. Hasn't turned into anything yet. And I've actually talked to many other people that have said similar. Oh, man, it looks just like my husband. He has this and that and the other thing, and then we go back and forth, and it's not them. So I don't know. I just don't have a lot of confidence in when he says that over and over. There he is right there. Oh, alcohol is what he died from. He's in the chat right there.
Oh, I'm not able to.
Yeah, I'll say his channel. I mean, he's right there. It's Paul Dickerson, so that's his channel. But I don't believe in his theory.
Okay.
I hope he's. You know what though? I hope he's right though. Don't you? I mean, who doesn't hope he's right?
Yeah. I was just trying to create a discussion and thought maybe it might be something you hadn't heard of, since I said his channel is pretty small and he doesn't have a lot of information on it. But one thing I was wondering, maybe, and I'm sure this theory has been beaten to death and talked about to death.
Mm-hmm.
But I have 2 girls and I live way out in the country, and there's not a lot to do. So like today after church, my girls wanted to drive around and go to a couple nearby parks, because they do this Pokemon game on their phone, and they catch Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
And at one of the parks, down a small path, just a walking path people have made. It's not cemented or anything. It's just dirt. There was 3 guys standing back there. Now I'm probably like 15, 20 feet behind my girls. I'm walking my dog. She was sniffing them like crazy, so my girls are together and they're, a little ways ahead of me. No big deal, They're not tiny, they're teenagers, but there were these 3 strange guys just hanging out back there right off of this little path. And they, of course, didn't know I was behind my girls, so they started, "Oh, did you need to go?" I don't know what the ding means.
That's just another call came in.
Okay.
But just finish your story, though. I mean, I'm not. Dude, that just happens when anybody calls in.
These guys, they started talking to my girls and like approaching them, like getting very close to them and asking them what they were doing. And sometimes you meet people or come across people and you get that hair stands up on the back of your neck feeling, just get that bad, icky feeling. And my girls had got that from these guys. And of course, once I walked up, they seen me and my dog and they were like, oh. And they all kind of walked off into the woods. And I asked my girls, I'm like, what was that? What did they say to you? And they were like, I don't know, Mom. They were a little creepy. They were just like, oh, girls, how you doing today? Aren't you pretty? How old are you? What are you doing?
Do you think maybe they were aware that do you think they were aware that there was Pokemon site there?
That's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, and I wondered if maybe, I don't know if that game was available or if there were similar games available like that.
There were some similar ones, because that's been around for a while. That game where you go out and you find these virtual characters, like you actually put your camera up and they pop up into the scene on your camera, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah.
I don't know if that's what they were playing, because let's see, I think it was Ives said that when he was there was no evidence that there was anything related to social media that had anything to do with the case. That's what he said.
So if they were playing a little game like that, then. But I wonder, even if they weren't playing a game like that, I mean, anything's possible, really. I wonder if the creepy guy, the guy, he had something on his device which made him go to that area thinking, well, let's use Pokemon, for example, because I don't know of any others. Let's say, oh, there's Pokemon in this area, and this is a secluded area. So possibly...
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad theory just for, like, in general, a killer, that, like, a pedophile, well, not a pedophile, but, a young kid killer type, maybe that would be a good technique, like, hey, some of these little creatures show up at this park, it's isolated, if I go there, maybe some will show up there playing that game. The one that people say that it might be, though, apparently there's like geocaching, and that's a game, that's something that you do online. They have a little box that you have to go find, and there's like notes, something like that. So that's something they actually do have at that park, a geocaching box.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's a theory that people have out there.
Oh, I've heard of geocaching, but I didn't know exactly what it was. But I just thought that could definitely be a possibility. Not that this idea that came to me because of my experience today would help in any way. I know the police and the FBI are being extremely thorough and have probably dissected everything about Libby's phone and online activity, but it was just a thought I had come to mind, and you weren't getting many callers, so I thought maybe if I just call in and give you some conversation for a minute or two.
Yeah.
But I'll go ahead and let you go, Gray. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Well, thanks for calling in. I mean, you did good.
Yeah.
That was an interesting theory, actually. I think that's, it might be a technique that they're deploying. They just kind of, I mean, it's weird that there were 3 guys, and right when your kids are looking at for that little creature, they're right there, ready to pounce. Right? Like if you weren't there, man, who knows, right? Yeah.
Right. One of them had a phone that they were looking at in their hand. So it just, it seemed not so random. So I don't know. It's just a very creepy experience, and I'm glad I was there with them because it could have turned out pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I do apologize again for mentioning that guy's channel.
No, it's okay. That's okay, because he's actually somebody that he's been on here. I just, in general, we've had people call in and they just use it like I mean, you weren't doing that, but they use my channel as an advertising board for maybe a channel they like, or because there's really in reality there's in general there's no reason to say it, but people do it. Like, oh yeah, if you guys watch this channel, and it's just not.
Yeah.
If I want to, I'll do it though. Like if I like somebody, I'll mention their names, but without knowing who they are. Yeah. I know who Paul Dickerson is. He's coming in. He's called before even. So.
Oh.
Just called.
It's good. Now I know. Yeah, now I know, and now
Yeah, it's no big deal.
Thanks, great. You have a good night.
Well, you too. Thanks for calling.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Okay.
Bye. Yeah, so anyways, you can allow Paul to put his email for somebody to contact him. Okay? That's not a big deal. He just wants to be able to tell that person his theory, send him all the links and everything. I mean, there's some people that are just so interested in every single theory that's out there so they can go down other rabbit holes. But if you want to put your email in there again, just let him put it there so whoever wanted to email him can email it. I already know his theory. I've seen the person. I don't think the person looks right, in my opinion, but who knows? They think it's him. Hopefully law enforcement took it seriously and looked at it. Yeah, I felt like you guys know what I'm talking about, though. How many times have we had people call in, hey, watch this guy? Yeah. Ugh, man. Bending my toe intentionally. Brutal. Anyways, I got another call here. 719. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What's going
Hello?
on?
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Yep.
Okay, cool. No, man, I was just wondering. I'm not here to mess with you. I have some actual. I just want to think about something for a second. I'm wondering if that guy is an electrician, though. I wonder if the suspect might be an electrician, because even his fanny pack, I wonder if he.
Who's an electrician? You said something about electrician first. What were you talking about?
I'm talking about the suspect. I wonder if he is an electrician. Is what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
Because like in his bag, maybe that he uses that for work and stuff for his tools, and he just carried it. It was just something I was thinking about real quick. But and then I just wanted to know, the interview with Paul Holes, is that in your videos? I really wanted to watch it again, but I don't know. I can't remember where it was. So.
Paul Holes. No. Well,
I think it's in your videos, but
yeah, well, it's in the podcast. Paul Holes is one of our guests on the Scene of the Crime Delphi.
Okay, so I can just look it up then.
Well, no, but you have to listen to the podcast. He pops in every once in a while.
Okay. What do you think about that? Do you think he's like in a trade or something, like a construction?
Oh, I mean, he might be in a trade. We none of us really know. So when you say electrician pack, I mean, what makes you think that that's what he's got there? I mean, we don't even know. We don't even know if that's a fanny. We don't even know if that's a fanny pack. That could just be the tail of a shirt that's sticking out, or the hoodie.
I know, but I've just seen people that are in that do have a similar look. So I was just wondering. This is something I was thinking about.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like
I don't know. We don't know.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what people should do. Like, you should say that on my show, say electrician, and then get on one of the other shows and say, hey, do you think you could be a construction worker? And then go on another show and say, do you think you could be somebody that works at McDonald's? And then just go through, do it like 20 times and come up with everything. And then once the guy gets arrested, it'll be awesome, man. You could run over to the one, just mark them all down. And then as soon as he gets arrested, they go, hey, everybody, this guy used to be a construction worker. Then you go over to Jim's channel where you said that, and you go, look, everybody. That's what psychics do. You know, well, I'm sure it'll be part of some kind of, you know, when you say trade, you know, what do you mean? Electrician, plumber, I think something like that.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Or HVAC, something like that, yeah.
Well, those kind of jobs are a little bit less supervised, and you can stay a little bit more anonymous. You can be more anonymous, and yet make quite a bit of money doing those.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an HVAC technician, so. That's why I was saying.
Wait a minute. Are you giving it? Wait. So what were you doing on?
I know.
What were you doing on February 13th? Huh? Yeah, because you thought of it. You went, yeah,
no,
because.
And also that makes sense. Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. Sorry.
That's all right.
But that would also make sense, because what time was he there? I mean, he could have been off by 2, you know, so he could have easily done it. I mean, I know but if he wanted to scout, like let's say he was scouting for a while, you know, he could easily have done that. You know what I mean? Because you work without really supervision. So.
Yeah,
he could have scouted for a period of time. So, and then he would have been off by 2. So.
And there's nobody, you know, unless they ask for an alibi, there isn't really anybody that you know, I guess you would just say I was at this job and this one, and who knows what time you were there or not. It would just be him saying it, right?
Yep.
Who knows? Well, you know.
So that's what I'm saying. So I wonder, that's the theory I had.
Yeah.
And then one last thing, I don't think he's a sex offender, because they probably looked at all those in the area. So I'm pretty sure it's not that, but right?
What do you say? The sex offender? I had to read.
Yeah, something. I said I'm pretty sure he's not a sex offender, because they've already looked at all those, right?
Oh, you mean, well, he might be now. I mean, I guess what you're saying, I mean a registered one, right? Like
yeah, that's what I meant. Registered.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think it is, or do you think they've looked at all those?
No, I'm sure they've looked at every single sex offender probably within 50 miles. Yeah, I have no doubt.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's him. I don't think he's.
Here's a good way to do it. Here's a good way to do it. Every single question that all of us have when they go, God, I wonder if they've done that. Unless it's something really unique and creative that you came up with. If it's something like, boy, I wonder if they checked the sex offenders, or I wonder if they looked at the cell tower pings. You know, I wonder if they did this. Of course they're going to do. I mean, they had the FBI in there. They're going to do all the things and then some. So even the creative idea that you come up with, they've probably done that one too, but maybe not. I've heard some that you go, wow, that was pretty interesting. I don't remember them now, but I remember on other shows thinking that was an interesting thought. And your idea on whether maybe he's in the trades, that's not a bad thought based on he doesn't have anybody that he might be sitting in a car with too long he might have blurted something out to. He's going to be by himself almost all the time. Yeah.
Right, because like me, I have my own van. Lots of them do, and you know what I mean. You're by yourself.
Yeah. Do you have the windows darkened?
No.
Okay. Yes, we got to check on you now. It's a little bit like Dennis. It's like Dennis. It's a little bit like Dennis Stewart, right? Because he looked into that case, and then his name showed up on the genealogy list, and then they said, "Hey, Dennis, we can't talk to you anymore." So now you're inserting yourself and admitting that you have a van doing that type of work. That's interesting. Okay. Now do this for me. Say this. Down the hill. I'm just kidding. I'm just
down
kidding.
the hill.
Oh God, you don't sound like it. Never mind.
I don't think he was black. I'm pretty sure he wasn't black.
Yeah, you don't sound quite right when you say that. Yeah.
No, but that's just what I was saying, man. That's all. I just because he would have been off by 2, he could have easily done a lot of scouting before, and then he could have just taken that day off, And then I don't know what he does, but who knows? None of us know.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. Like you just said, he's not black. That makes a lot of sense. Do we really know that, though? How did we know that he didn't have an entire mask put on his head, right?
Yeah, he had like that fake skin,
Yeah, you put one of those those masks on that they used in Point Break when they robbed the banks. Just the full-on mask, right? And then it actually had a fake cigarette sticking out, and that's what people think. Oh, look, he's got a cigarette. Oh, man. I think we've nailed it. Yeah.
That'd be crazy. All right, but yeah. That's all, though.
Okay.
I'll let you get back to it, but
yeah,
thanks for taking the call.
Yeah, well, thanks for calling in. Appreciate it.
All right, bye.
Bye. Timothy Cecil. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny if I do say so myself. There he is. Let's see. That wasn't a bad idea. I did like the reasoning that you had behind it being a trade type job. That makes a hell of a lot of sense, doesn't it? Something where you blend into the community, and then your job itself gives you a lot of free time, and you can be more elusive from detection, and yet go have a beer at the bar to maintain your there's good old Jimmy over there, right? So I like that one. All right, so there we go. Let's throw that in there. I think that's definitely a decent idea there. I like that one. Maybe not the whole, I wonder if he's an electrician and that was his kit. I like your overall general thought of him doing that. Okay. Got a little too specific on there. Well, it just looked like one of those. Now watch, it's going to turn out to be an electrician. His name's going to be Jim Sampson. Now watch, somebody's going to look that up. Gray, there is an electrician named Jim Sampson. Well, how about Jim Johnson? There's probably 9 of those. Thank you, Shelley Billmeyer. Did the girls ride the bus to school? I don't think so.
They were hit in the head with a lead pipe.
Wait, hold on. I got to rewind it because you're going to go, wow, did he just say that they were hitting? No.
We go to investigate a burglary.
There we go.
And we get there, and then we find out actually it's been a homicide. And the person was killed because they were stabbed twice in the back, and they were hit in the head with a lead pipe. If we release that information, then the tips we get all have that same information. Whereas if we don't release that information, and then we get a tip that says, yeah, I was at Joe's Bar and Grill. I heard this guy talking about how he had broken into a house and he stabbed a woman in the back twice and hit her in the head with a pipe. Well, if we've not released that information, we get that as a tip. We know, hey, this is some good information.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there's...
See, that was a really great explanation of why they hold stuff.
Specific information in this investigation that we're not releasing, that if it comes to our attention, we're going to know that's a good tip. We need to really pay close attention to that. Now, that said, we're investigating every tip, and there's been over 8,000. We are not going to rationalize away a tip without thoroughly investigating it. And that's what we're telling people. Don't assume, don't make an assumption, oh, this couldn't have been it.
Right.
So what information do we have? What have we released? We've released the audio tape that says you hear the voice saying, down the hill, down the hill. It's a distinctive enough voice that somebody that knows that person could say, boy, that sounds like fill in the blank of the name.
Right.
Those are the people we don't want you to rationalize away.
Hey, listen. Okay, now listen, when you hear him say guys, does he go, guys, down the hill? Like he's... No, he just says guys. Guys, hey guys. Guys. Right? Guys. I don't know how that could ever be heard that way. You know, I have no idea how that was ever heard by anybody in that way, like, guys? It's unreal. Unreal, man. Unreal.
I thought, oh, Bill could never do that. Call us. Tell us. Let us go talk to Bill. If Bill can validate where he was at that time, and we can rule him out of the investigation, that will happen. But if Bill can't do that, and we find other inconsistencies that indicate that he's possibly a valid suspect, then you will have helped us solve the crime. Don't rationalize.
What about suspect as opposed to suspects? Has that been addressed?
What we have publicly addressed is people want to make the assumption that the voice saying down the hill, it belongs to the person that's captured in the image.
This is where
from
he's
the cell
wrong
phone.
here.
That's not necessarily the case.
Yeah, see, at the time, that's what they said, but it's all been changed now, that the person on the bridge is the person who made that voice. I thought it was obvious. That's overthinking it. So at this point, the people who are saying what he's saying are absolutely overthinking everything. When you see a person on the bridge and he's walking towards the camera and he goes, guys, down the hill, to assume that there was another person saying that is one of those, like, you kind of see that in crazy Facebook group stuff. Okay? Yes, it's, quote, possible, but so unlikely that to even suggest it is strange. But maybe early on, they were trying to put out a message that, hey, it's not necessarily this guy. He can come forward and feel really safe because he might just be a witness to this.
We're not making any assumption about that. We have
right. So that could be what they're trying to do, is sell to him. They think he's probably watching these things. To sell to him that, we're not making that assumption. It might, we're not saying that's him or not.
More video. We have more audio. But it is specific to the investigation.
So they have more video and they have more audio, see? And we know that there's that because the information that's been told to us by, various family members over the years has various things that are being said, like which way to go. That's a gun. Is that a gun? It's a gun. That kind of comment. Discussing which way to go. Oh, he's right behind me, isn't he? Uh-huh. So there's different things said out there.
And that's why it's not being released at this time. Well, again,
and then there's somebody out there that put a video out. You know, this random guy who's using the similar satellite images that I had. He made a video, and he just went on and on and on. He said, you know what I think? You know what makes more sense, everybody? Is that he said, down the hill, then guys. And it's just, how come you're coming up with this? They released the audio. I'm sure they probably did it in the order. It makes way more sense that he introduced himself, like, guys, first, walk by, pulls out a gun and says, down the hill. Okay? Doesn't that make more sense? But why would, who cares if guys is louder? Anyway, so he does, so guys, we might say, okay, so in your scenario, maybe the phone wasn't quite all the way in the pocket, and then down the hill it was completely buried in the pocket, right? But why would it make more sense to say, down the hill, than, guys? That's just stupid. God, if it turns out to be that, then there's this whole other sentence structure that's missing.
Listening to the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance, Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the Indiana State Police Alliance. I'm speaking with Captain Dave.
I don't know. There isn't really an abandoned building right there, though. Just so you know.
Dave Burston of the Indiana State
Police. Not one at the crime scene, anyways.
Public Information Office, and we're talking about the senseless crime that happened there in Delphi, Indiana, to Abigail.
See, what people do is, because they weren't in on it at the beginning and everything's been covered, they try to twist things around and pretend that they're seeing this new way and everybody's so excited about it. But in reality, it's just them inventing things to be different and a little bit dramatic, right? That's it. There's no way that you could literally sit there and tell me that it makes more sense that, or first of all, that the guy goes, guys? Like he'd already said it before. Like, did you hear me the first time, guys? You know? And then tell me it makes more sense that he says, down the hill, guys. Oh, jeez. Give me a break. All right, Collar, what's going on?
Yeah, how you doing today? So you ready to listen to the truth here in Delphi?
No. What do you got?
Yeah, the real truth, Delphi.
Yeah, what do you got?
Yeah, the girls are alive in Canada after having a burial service.
Okay, well, they're not, so see you later, buddy.
Yeah,
yeah, that was probably, I'm pretty sure that was a troll, because he said, you really ready to hear the truth about Delphi, everybody? The girls are still alive in Canada after a burial service. And then I said, nah, that's a load of shit. And he goes, well, and then I just hung up in his face. So I don't really need to hear the rest of what he was going to say there. Yeah, tell that to the family members who saw them there. Oh, let me guess, it's a little bit like Sandy Hook. We almost got through a show without a troll. Almost did it. Almost did it. Never made it onto the air, though. So, oh well. Yeah, nope, didn't play it. Pretty crazy, everybody. Pretty crazy.
Williams and Liberty German, when they were senselessly killed up there in Delphi. Dave, you were talking earlier about not releasing some information, and I know the public may have a hard time believing this, but there are people, and you kind of skimmed over it, but maybe address a little bit more, that do call in and say, yeah, I did this.
Yeah, the people do that, and they will call.
Yeah, no, it is. I've actually, believe it or not, everybody, I think you guys should actually cheer for me, much like this, like,
okay, bye.
5 brain cells, 4 aren't working.
I have actual purge nights where I'll say this, and I mean it again. I've lost channel members, the paying channel members, when I've said this statement. And I'm glad to lose more of you when I say this next statement right here. If you believe Sandy Hook is fake, and those are crisis actors, and there's a lady with the brown hair, and it's all fake, then get the hell off of this channel. Unsubscribe, actually, and then get rid of your membership. Do whatever it takes. Get the hell out of here, okay? Because it happened. All right, so that is my bar there. If you actually believe Sandy Hook is fake, you're one of those stupid, moronic people that believe that kind of thing, then get out of here. You're not welcome. All right, thank you. Okay, that's my PSA for the day. Please get the hell out of here. Hey, thank you, Nicole Wilson. Yeah, that wasn't too bad, right? I got that one early. Yeah, so I remember we actually had somebody on here that went, okay, great, then I have to go. And I was like, thank you. Get the hell out of here. All right. Well, there's a lady with the brown hair. They're at every scene. Yeah, you know what's weird is how rare brown hair is on women. Wait a minute. I see like 90 of you right there in a row. Yeah. What if who's a chimera? I don't know. Yeah, definitely can't fix stupid, Plato. That's for damn sure. You know, it's weird because YouTube should boost my numbers up when I say that shit. Like, recommend. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's not just that. Ask all the parents of the kids who died. Oh, there you go. I gained one. Thank you, Moxie77. Welcome. Now you have access to all the emojis that all have meaning. You know what I should do is make a members video for joining and then go over all the emojis in that welcome video. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Oh yeah, it's going to be perfect. I haven't made that video yet. You know when you're in the members section and it has a video? Yep, always crazy, always crazy. But I'm gonna
recording stopped.
I've only got 8 more minutes. That's gonna be 3 hours. Yeah, I think I'll do it. It'll be something like, hey, if you'd like to join the freak family at Grant Hughes Investigates, just know that you'll have access. You'll have discounts on merchandise and exclusive community posts. But you'll also have access to the custom emojis. Now let me go through some of these emojis for you. For example, the lizard eye came from Gray's foot and mouth moment where he... Yeah. Hey, thanks, Gen H. Yep, we got Walking Dead's on tonight, so there we go. Oh, I'm not going to do it right this second. I've done it like 20 times. Yeah. I'll make my own video just for that. And maybe I'll make it, I'll make a video, or an emoji explanation video, which will also be used for the membership. Maybe I'll just do a few of them on that one. Oh, good for you, Ian. Good for you. Another troll comment. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, we don't need to know, Leah. I'm just going to go watch it, all right? Thank you. All right, everybody. I think that's going to be it for the show tonight. We didn't have any trolls break through. Pretty cool, huh? It's always good. Yeah, we just don't want to hear anything about it. All right. I'm just going to use my... Well, I'm not going to get John Boy to help out tonight. So thank you to Stacy, who started off with a double cat eye donation. And then Eula S. Sylvia Eschbach. Rita Schaefer. Sylvia Eschbach again. Cindy Lynn. Beholder. Beholder again. Vomit face. First one was Drool. Carolina T. Vale. Be Kind. Seeking Rainbows. Miss Frellis. Karen Wilson. Brianna George. Lee D. Lee D. Lee D. Randy Bradford. Beholder. Jason Anderson. Randy Bradford. Reckless. LM. Miss L. Alley Cake. Eula S. Lee D. Michelle Heimhausen. Mag. Philly. Oh, and Mag was a cat eye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you. Paisley Dreams. Life is short. JP. Logical contradiction. Karen Wilson. D&K Rec. Plato. Ori Staggs. Ori Grant. Lee D. Jen Richards. Michelle Eimhausen. Michelle Eimhausen. Mag. Kathy L. Plato. George Leonard. Kentucky Church Guy. Kathy Frydenmaker. Nicole Wilson. LM. And Paulette Leonard. Plato. Amida. Very generous, thank you. And Karen Whelan. Thank you very much, very generous. Double cat eye donation right there. And then Plato. And Paulette Leonard. There you go, everybody. Wow. Very cool, very cool. We also donated $500 tonight to RAIN, which is a organization, Violence Against Women, bringing our grand total for this year so far to $27,522 last year, so we're at $49,500 since January 2020. But this year's 27, I think we'll easily get in, like, I'm kind of guessing over 35 at least by the end of the year. Be pretty sweet. But yes, donations also help out my channel too. But I just donate a huge portion to charities, so it's kind of a helps me out and definitely helps the charities out, as you can see right there. And it's all because of all of you. You're so generous. I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm just I feel so lucky And then also, thank you all the mods that do what you do. Thanks, Jen, for removing that one earlier. I think I probably even thanked her for the $1. But if you really want it back, hit me up. I'll send it back to you. Okay. Yeah, yeah, there you go. Steve Kellogg just mentioned that. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. It was $4.99. Well, it wasn't $4.99. I didn't get $4.99 or $500. Oh, that's right. The donation that I made to charity. Yeah, she took away that $1. Weird. Strange. But anyways, it's all you guys. You guys are the best, and thank you. We will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we get some more updates on that case of the hikers that all died. I mean, that's a weird Dyatlov Pass type scenario, isn't it? Really weird shit. It's, you know, it's totally different, but that same sort of bewildered mint. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you. Thanks, Amber. Nice comment. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, everybody, until next time. Wait, first of all, also thank you to all the new channel members. I don't know if... let's see if they showed up in here. Hold on one second. Does it do it like that? So it might have been... Yeah, I think these are Betty D... Shelly Billmeyer, that makes sense, and then Unprogram the Mind, Michelle Imhausen, maybe it could have been Moxie77, Amber E, these are all the ones that say 0 days ago, Julie Keith, In a Basket, NH Girl, Pixie Sticks, LH. So there you go. Thank you guys. So thanks again, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person
Not one?
that is a crime dissector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya.
Wow, did you guys hear that? Flew like
me
that.
like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Grego's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a specter with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temper fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later. Sorry, I had to go deal with the dogs running around. Hold on one second. Hold on. That was weird. So loud. Blue's going nuts on me. Come on, Blue. Come on, Blue. Come on, Blue.
Happy birthday to Holder. You sit on my shoulder when he got the big. Happy birthday to Holder. She was crushed by a boulder as she sat on my shoulder. She's no older. A lot of stuff rhymes with boulder, right? Her name is Beholder. She was crushed by a boulder. She got no older. She ain't no molder. Hey, look at that, Steve Kellogg, man. We're like in syncopatico with each other. I put her in a folder. molder. She ain't no molder. She got crushed by a boulder. Crushed by a boulder. She was on my shoulder. She's out in the folder that was seen by Molder. He moved. She ain't no older. She ain't no older. 'Cause she was crushed by a boulder. So she was put in a folder seen by Molder. Do 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 do. Yes, 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 she got colder when she was crushed by a boulder. She got no older. She got colder. She ain't gonna get no older. She was crushed by a boulder. Then she was put in a folder seen by Molder. We'll have to come up with something with that one. Yeah! Boom! Her body was colder. Her body was colder. Crushed by a boulder. She ain't gonna get no older. She was put in a folder. Look by Molder.
Yes, we're always here.
Shut up, Timmy.
You know, Mary Lou, you're getting really mean.
Who cares, John Boy? Jeez, you're so yesterday.
What do you mean I'm so yesterday?
Are you crying, John Boy?
No, I was just imitating you.
Gosh, you're so mean, Jay.
Wow, how passive-aggressive is that, huh? Jeez, he starts the whole thing and then turns it around on John Boy at the last minute. That's right. You're so yesterday.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Beholder, I ain't gonna get no older. Got crushed by a boulder. Gonna get a lot colder as I sit by a folder. Gonna be viewed by a molder. Okay, there goes that. Let's try it again. Yeah, name is Beholder. Name is Beholder. Ain't gonna get no older. Got crushed by a boulder. Gonna get a lot colder as I sit by a folder. Gonna be my molder. There we go. Hey,
that was pretty cool, Mary Lou.
Well, don't try to be nice to me now.
I was nice to you before. You were mean to me.
No, I wasn't mean to you.
Yes, you were.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. Alright, everybody. Alright, everybody. I think we're gonna go now.
Yeah. What do you mean? I'm the one that ends the show, Mary Lou.
Well, I could just tell people weren't as interested. They just like what I do, not what you do.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Well, you heard what I said.
Oh, man. Woo, boy. Mary Lou's head's getting really big right now, don't you think?
It is not, Gray. What are you talking about?
Well, you just said that they're here to watch you, not me.
Well, that's true, right, everybody?
Yeah, I think maybe some people like you a lot, but I think most people hate your guts.
Oh, God, Gray, that's so weak.
Wow. What happened at the end there? Were you smoking some of those low-cal cigarettes again?
What do you mean low-cal?
Well, you know, the ones that you smoke for losing weight.
They don't make low-cal cigarettes.
I know, Mary Lou, it was a joke.
Oh, okay, gee.
All right, everybody. See you guys tomorrow. And as they always say, until next time, you know what? Be safe out there, okay?
Be safe out there.
Oh, boy.